Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone on YouTube and the NRL community. Welcome to round 2 of the NRL Season 5 Saturday splits, where we will have another 2 cracking races ahead of us today. Last night, we saw 2 extremely intense races hosted by the godlike trio of Toon, Slow-Mo, and Leo for the Friday heats. I'm expecting more of the same today, but with 2 very different combos. As per usual, it will be myself, Floor Genius Gaming, hosting today's events, joined by my platinum duo of T-Case and Tatty, who will be providing me with their supreme insights on all things up and down the grid. Bringing us from the front, though, is T-Case. How are you doing today, sir? And excited for this one?
Oh, yes, Flood. I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Based on what we saw last night and what we've seen throughout NRL history, we're in for another treat today. So I am very much looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Yes, indeed. Yes, certainly going to be some spectacular racing, that is for sure. And also bringing us from the rear, we have the ever so talented Tatty. Good day to you, and how are you feeling?
Hey, I feel great. I'm in the same boat as TK, so I think we're going to get some exciting racing today.
Yeah, I think so indeed. But before we get into that, it's important to notify the sponsors we have in the NRL Season 5, because NRL is sponsored by Henke's Tavern, established in 1955 in the Old Town Florissant, the finest cuisine and bar in St. Louis, where you can dine in and dine out, play games and watch all your sports games, including the NRL, from the comfort of the bar. We give a warm welcome from everyone in the NRL, from the NRL HQ, and a big thank you for sponsoring us throughout Season 5, because if you ain't first, we're open to 1 a.m. And struggling to balance those books for the end of your tax year, why not, seek a professional, making your life stress-free and steer clear of tax troubles with Little J CPA, our other official sponsor for the whole of NRL Season 5. Big thank you to both Little J CPA and Henke's Tavern for your support. But before we get into today's event, here's a quick reminder of the results from the first round of the group stage last week, starting with the results and standings from round 1 in our Saturday Division B. T-Case, take it away, please.
All right, so in P1, we have the Beehive Racing League Pelias Pango with 25 points. In P2, Slick SHVR2, part of Papa's House of Games, with 18 points. In P3, we have Old Man Pip with 15 points. With 12 points in P4, we have Parquet. Then we have PHG Arrow in P5 with 10 points, followed by Lead Pencil in P6 with 8 points. Then with 6 points, we have Spawn in P7. And in 8th, we have PHG Horn of Plenty with 4 points. Bandit in P9 with 2 points, tied with P Rozzle with 2 points, and then we have a 4-way tie for P11 with no points, and that's BHR Johnny Boy, S7R Shadow Chef, MD Hop 2, and Santa Miguel.
Thank you, T-Case. And Tatty, if you can read out the standings from Saturday Division A, please.
Absolutely. So in first place with 25 points, we have Wid. In second with 18 points is MMR Moose. 16th, we've got PHG Lyric. In third there with 16 points is PHG Lyric. Cyrus Nikki GT is in fourth with 12 points, followed by S7R Nuke in fifth with 10 points. Almost Podium comes in sixth with 8 points, and Digital Relay in seventh with 6 points. PHG Caper will be in 8th place with 4 points. PHG Sheldologist, I say that right every time. Sheldologist with 2 points. Luis is in 10th with 1 point. Felmore in 11th with 0 points. And tied behind them all for 11th are PHG Salamander MN, Bandit 1, and GI Boku.
Awesome stuff. Okay. Right, well, now it's on to our first of the 2 races we have planned for you today, the second round of our Division B group stage. And we are in the Cathedral of Speed, home to Forza Ferrari in Europe, in the Italiano, for the visit of Monza with the no chicane configuration. Track length is 3.58 miles with 9 corners, missing out the first chicane with a 10-minute qualifier ahead of a full start grid start enabled check for this 23-lap race. They'll be driving the Audi R18 TDI 2011 Group 1 car, producing a monstrous 532 brake horsepower to its rear wheels with a 3.7-litre turbocharged engine and weighing in at just 900 kilos. Balance of power is enabled with only brake balance to be tweaked. Mechanical damage is set to heavy with tyre wear set to ×3 and a fuel consumption rate at ×2. Racing soft and hard compounds are available and both need to be used at least once for the duration of this race. As we are in the group stage, the points allocation is as follows: 25 points going to the race winner, 18 for second, 15 for third, and in sequential order down to 10th with 1 point. The driver with the fastest lap finishing in the top 10 will be rewarded with an additional bonus point. Top 14 across both Friday and Saturday combined on points at the end of round 3 will secure their passage to the finals on Saturday, April the 26th. And onto the lineup in Division B. They are as follows. We've got Bandit, BHR Johnny Boy, BHR Police Pango, MD Hop 2, Old Man Pip, P Rosal, RK, PHG Arrow, PHG Horn of Plenty, PHG Lead Pencil, S7R Shadow Chef, Santa Miguel, Slick, and lastly we have Spawn. Please make sure you do check out their streaming profiles applicable to them, as I'm sure they'll be streaming from their point of view, making sure you keep a tab open for us in the NRL so you don't miss any of the racing action. So TK, yeah, a very exciting combo. This is a very unusual combo. You don't often see Group 1 cars at Monza. I have happened to do a little bit of testing beforehand, though, and I have to say, from my experience, it was quite a tricky car to really control. Did you manage to do any testing? And what are your thoughts on the combo?
I did, and the Group 1 cars are not my forte. High downforce is not my jam. But I'm assuming these drivers have done a lot of practice, so they know the layout, they know what curves they can and can't touch. Going into qualifying here, I think it's going to be crucial to find somebody who you can maybe get in their slipstream, because coming out of Parabolica with there being no first chicane, it is a flat out run all the way to the second, which is in this layout, the first chicane. So in my testing, I found that if you could get behind somebody coming out of Parabolica all the way to that chicane, I mean, that is going to be tenths, maybe even a second in lap time. What do you think about that, Tati?
Agreed. I was just thinking that. I was like, oh my gosh, you cannot mess up the Parabolica. And yes, if you have a toe, you have such a huge advantage over anyone else. That straight is just so long. This is Monza at its purest. Just high speed, and brakes are an afterthought.
Right, sorry about that, guys. I had a helicopter with the window open there, so I do apologise. But yeah, it's certainly a very tricky combo. It's certainly a card that you do need to respect. It is particularly snappy on the exits of the corners, and if you don't respect it, it can spit you out and put you into a wall. So hopefully the drivers know about this, and they will not make the mistakes that I made in practice. But yeah, they're just coming out on track and now, so they're on their out lap for this 10-minute qualifier ahead of this 23 lap race here at Monza. But yeah, one thing that I did notice actually, T-Case, was the fact that because it's a diesel, because it's turbocharged, actually there'll be a lot of short shifting involved, and you know, a lot of the power in the low RPM.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad you pointed that out, because that improved my lap time from when I did some practicing earlier in the week and then this morning after you gave me that hot tip. And I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, that makes a big difference. You can come out of some of these turns in a higher gear, especially coming out of Lesmo 1 and 2, maybe coming out in third or fourth, and allowing yourself to get the power down early instead of having to wait and dance on the throttle.
Yes, indeed. And Tati as well. Did you manage to do any like testing, or did you like watch any drivers during the week and stuff? I mean, what are your thoughts on this type of combo?
I got some watching, and you know, I recognized that some drivers didn't, or at the time didn't know about short shifting this thing. So hopefully some folks are listening and have learned. Of course, that could affect how their race goes. But yeah. This thing is torquey. It's fun. I've noticed everyone has learned to be very careful around the curbs on it, and just, you know, stay away from those sausage curbs and keep it nice and neat. Rely on that downforce to carry your speed through corners rather than trying to cut so much. But to T-Case's point, it's so torquey, you can come out in a high gear and kind of make up for it if you do overslow for a corner or something.
Yeah, that's a top tip there, I have to say. And it does look like the drivers are kind of, well, as I see lead pencil rev out the car there, but it did look like most of the drivers, though, it looks like they've taken that on board. So it's going to be interesting to see how quick they are, how consistent they are. And yeah, so far so good from lead pencil in terms of stability, as he nearly commentator's curse there as he went over the sausage there, because yeah, as Tati did mention, this car tends to be pretty allergic to the big sausages, so you have to be very, very careful when you ride over them, and you know, hope that you are able to keep the rear tyres from spinning. So they're just about to come across the line now, so we're just starting to get the times in. Bandit came across the line with a 1 minute 29.2, Lead Pencil with a 1 minute 29.5, MD Hop with a 1 minute 30.3, Santa Miguel is on a pole position with a 1 minute 28.7, so doing a really good job, with Slick just coming across the line in second position as well. So and we do actually ride aboard with Slick, who is using a VR headset, and with these types of speeds, I would imagine this will be a very scary proposition for Slick. Hopefully he can see out of these cars, because the windows are not too big, are they? So I've always struggled, particularly in cockpit view, when it comes to the Group 1 cars. But he's using a Thrustmaster T248, and he performed brilliantly in the last race at the Hash Brown Arena, Blue Moon Speedway, for those that didn't know the nickname there. So yeah, he got a second position, and he'll be looking to build upon that in round 2 of the NRL. But we'll see how he gets on here. He's just over 3.5 temps down on Santa Miguel, who had a bit of a shocking time of things in the first round. So he's setting the early pace right now and looking for better luck this time around, as Slick does take his penalty, so ruining his first lap there. But we are on board with Polaris Pango, who won the race at Blue Moon Speedway, currently in 7th position. Oh my god, nearly a collision on the straight there as he comes across the line to claim a second position for the time being. 1 minute 28.6, but that was close though, wasn't it, Tati?
It absolutely was. That was kind of crazy, but I was watching Evan in 6th place there, who just lost his toe, but he had a massive massive toe from Horn of Plenty on the first straight there, and was up almost half a tenth. So I'm watching his lap. Mine, he just had a moment in the second Lesmo, so that's just going to negate. I thought he was going to come across the line with a huge time, but yeah, lots of action on track right now.
Yeah, certainly.
I
and
jumped out of my seat like that. Like my heart's racing after that. I was like, oh, he's not going to go, so you're just going to smack right into him. But luckily they survived. Oh my goodness.
Well, luckily for one driver in particular, MD Hop is sitting on pole position at the moment. He is the fastest man on the circuit with a 1 minute 28.586. So MD Hop again probably didn't have the best of races in round one, and he is looking to grab as many points as possible in this round, because of course the drivers will know that it's kind of like the best of 3 rounds, isn't it? You need to pick up as many points during these 3 rounds to qualify yourself into the finals. So MD Hop looking to grab a maximum points if possible to really kickstart his season 5 in the NRL. But yeah, it's very close though at the top of the leaderboard there. 19/1000th of a second separating him and Pango in P2. But MD Hop, just looking at his details, he uses the same wheel as me, the Thrustmaster TGT. As you can see, confirmation there, he got P13 in the last round. I was going to say last week, but it was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? So and then yeah, you can actually catch him on YouTube at MD Hop 95 if you do want to check him out and support him. But yeah, certainly looking rather consistent at the moment, I have to say, TKs.
Indeed, yeah, and he's just purple after purple. Lost a little bit of time there, but he was looking good. And as now we can see the inside of this cockpit, it actually looks like there's pretty good visibility with the cool little rear view mirror there, right there. So for the drivers that are in VR, I bet this is a very, very fun experience.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, to be honest, yeah, it's quite unusual because normally you can't see anything out of that window. Yeah. But yeah, no, you can see both sides of the car, and yeah, you're going to need to, because you need to stay away from them curbs. As looks like MD Hop has dived into the pits to change onto some new rubber and maybe get one more lap in qualifying, but certainly sitting pretty at the top of the leaderboards right now. We are on board with Old Man Pit, who's currently in 8th position. Now, I can imagine that this car must be a bit of a handful on a controller. Those that are in chat, or maybe Tati, don't you use a controller?
No, I use a wheel. I did use a controller for a couple of days though when my PlayStation wasn't working with my screen. I just want to point out something that happened really quickly. Santa Miguel had a spin. He was sitting in 4th on a good lap, had a spin coming out of a Scari, and made the mistake of resetting rather than going back into the pit. So he comes out on fresh softs, but a full tank of fuel.
Yeah, he may have picked up damage though, isn't it? That's the one thing I'm thinking, and thinking rather than you know, doing a full lap and then kind of losing time in the pits and getting it repaired, maybe you thought, you know, maybe we just reset. But yeah, certainly not ideal though, that is for sure. Currently in P4, and he should be able to get a lap, a final lap, should I say, because we are 9 minutes into this qualifying session, and with the cool down after the allotted 10 minutes, should just about manage to get one more lap. So you know, fingers crossed for Santa Miguel, but certainly very close. Although Lopez, I was just about to say, very close, but he moves up into pole position with a phenomenal time of a 1 minute 28.103. So saving the best to last by what I can see, and maybe the slipstream came to his advantage as well, because we just see MD Hop as well using Santa Miguel's slipstream as he nips past him as we go through the Curva Grande leading up to the De La Roggia chicane. So and it looks like he's timed his braking to perfection as well, so it's going to be interesting to see how much of an advantage that gave MD Hop down the straight, and whether or not he can keep it consistent around the rest of the circuit as well, and see whether or not he can make up the difference to him and Lead Pencil, which I do believe is roughly about half a second, so maybe 0.4 of a second. So we'll see how we get on, but Santa Miguel has now got that slipstream, so there was nearly contact, and I think he had to back out of it. So that would have cost him time. So it looks like it's all on MD Hop to challenge Lead Pencil for pole position. But yeah, you can see just under 0.5 of a second separating Lead Pencil and MD Hop. So he will really need to get a move on as he comes around the final corner at Parabolica now. He's just about to come across the checkered line now. What can he produce? It's going to be a 1:28.7. He's lost time there, T-Case.
Yeah, indeed. And I think that shows while the slipstream is so strong and helpful, the dirty air is definitely real. And going through a Scari with other cars around you, it really compromises your line. It makes it a lot harder to hit it perfectly, because you have to carry as much speed as possible through that chicane, and when you have cars around you, it just really makes it difficult to do that.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, not the easiest car to control, but you know, just 10-minute qualifying. We've got a lengthy race ahead of us, 23 laps at Monza, so anything can happen in this one. But just to give you the classified qualifying results in round 2 at Monza, so we got PHG Lead Pencil on pole position with a phenomenal 1:27.842, 7.5 tenths quicker than MD Hop, who qualified in second position. Then it's Polaris Pango in third position, with Santa Miguel holding fourth position. Then RTS Bandit up into fifth position, with a Slick down into sixth position. Spawn has a top 7 position, with PHG Arrow in 8th position just behind him. Old Man Pip in 9th position, ahead of P. Rosal with his top 10 finish. P11 is Parquet, ahead of PHG Horn of Plenty in 12th. And then we have got BHR Johnny Boy, who's going to be starting on row 7 on his own. But yeah, a little bit of a difference in times of what I just seen in quali. But again, all it takes is that one mistake, and it can ruin your race, especially when you got the heavy damage as well. So it's certainly going to be an interesting one, T-Case.
Yeah, for sure. And like you mentioned with the heavy damage, like and this layout in these cars, honestly, I think I would want to start a little more towards the back. I mean, we got a lot of laps to do. We got 2 different tire compounds. I'm nervous for those front runners as they go into the first chicane. That's going to be it's going to be scary.
It's indeed. And Tati, do you think the slipstream is going to be really important here?
Question that you really can't be fast around here without slipstream when everyone else is in the same car. And then to T-Case's point, in a Scari, you have to tiptoe. You use the slipstream, but you have to understand that you will lose a lot of speed through there. But there's way more straight than there is a Scari, so figure it out.
Yeah, they'll definitely need to find a solution to the equation there, that's for sure. But yes, we have got a 23-lap race here at Monza. We've got a choice of 2 tyres to use, whether it's the racing hards or the racing soft tyres. Both are mandatory as well. So the strategy, they're certainly going to be interesting, I think.
No, I don't think they're both mandatory. They're both optional. Yeah. So they. If they want to try to do the whole thing on the hards, that is definitely an option for them. Or if they want to do soft and some combination, but take us away.
Well, lights are out and away we go then. So Lead Pencil is going to lead us down the straight, but of course he's got a big train of cars behind him, with Polaris Pango looking to challenge him down the straight, with MD Hop all over the gearbox of Lead Pencil as we go into Curva Grande for the first time. It looks like MD Hop is going to slip down the inside of Polaris Pango and looking to challenge Lead Pencil as we come up to the De La Roggia chicane. But Lead Pencil, there's contact! There's big contact between MD Hop and Lead Pencil, as it looked like what's his name? Empty Hop got out of control over the sausage curb, and there's a big collision. It looks like a few cars were taken out in the process as well. 2-second penalty for Parquet in P7 as well. As we look on the replay and go on board with Parquet now, so we've got a train of cars in front. Oh, it's Parquet. Oh, Parquet did really well initially to avoid the car in front, but then there was contact with whoever was third position. I didn't quite catch the name there. So it looks like quite a few drivers have picked up a bit of damage. And MD Hop is at the back of the grid now with rear bumper damage. We're going to get another replay as well on board with second position with MD Hop. Then he was on the outside. Oh, he got shunted from behind, and that is why he went out of control over the sausage curb on the inside, and that's where all the contact happened. But yeah, very unfortunate there, Tate.
Oh yeah, that was a lot going on, and in my view, I also saw P. Roswell spin, and then totally different part of the track there. Lots and lots of action on this one opening lap here. I see Arrows now in 13th. He's in the pits.
That was, I mean, and that was no fault of MD Hop. He was doing a great job of clean wheel-to-wheel racing with Lead, and it looked like they were both going to get through side by side nice and clean, and then he just gets punted, takes out Lead. And that's to my point I made right before we got started, is I don't think I want to start at the front of this pack.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's one of them, isn't it? Because of the long straight, and it's flat out through the Curva Grande as well. The drivers behind pick up so much speed, and they have to adjust with the extra speed that they have from the slipstream and get on the brakes a little bit earlier, but it does catch up quite a number of the drivers, and that was evidence there. But we have a new leader of the racer course with RTS Bandit, who got away with not getting involved in the domino effect that was the Della Roggia chicane there. Yeah, it's all changed at the top of the grid with Polaris Pango in P2, Slick in P3, Santa Miguel P4, Spawn up into P5, up 2 positions, who is now challenging Santa Miguel and should get the overspeed as we come down the straight now up to Curva Grande, and yeah, moves up into P4, and it looks like Santa Miguel just kind of pulling out of that slipstream. It looks like maybe doing a little bit of fuel saving as well, who knows. But yeah, Spawn up 3 positions now to 4th position, and then we've got the trainer cars behind Santa Miguel. Oh my god, nearly contact. Santa Miguel went over the sausage. He may pick up a penalty for that, though I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. But goes up the inside of Spawn, avoids him as well, moves up into P4, and then now we've got Hall of Plenty now all over the exhaust of Spawn in 6th position. Johnny Boy not too far behind in 7th, and Lead Pencil in 8th. So, actually, before I come to you, Tati, Spawn up the inside of Santa Miguel to move back up into P4 just before the Scari chicane, and that was the perfect move there as he secures that P4 for now. But now it's Horner Plenty challenging Santa Miguel, and he's up the inside to move up into P5 before we get into the Parabolica at the last corner of lap 3. But Tati, how's it looking on your end at the minute?
I'm looking at the battle for 3rd earlier, but that has pretty much ended there. Just a little bit of separation between those cars. Honestly, where we are watching right now, the battle for 4th is where most of the action is on track. Everyone else is pretty well separated.
Right, okay, so yeah, I mean, it looks like a bit of a cat and mouse game at the moment, because Horner Plenty is up the inside of Spawn now to move up into P4. Spawn will sweep behind him to gather up that slipstream before we get into the chicane. Looks like Lead Pencil was just on the outside of Bowman Pit to hold him off to stay in P8. Oh, there's contact between Old Man Pip and Lead Pencil. It looks like Lead Pencil just knocked the rear of Johnny Boy and pushed him into the sand trap as we look on the replay, T-Case.
Yeah, indeed, as they come up into the chicane. Lead Pencil does have rear damage. I don't know how much that's affecting him, and it looks like he tried and released the brake going over that first part and just went into the back and kind of nudge Johnny Boy off. It is tough in these cars, the higher downforce Group 1 cars. In lobbies, there is a bit of net code, but we'll have to, further look at those replays to see exactly what happened there. But from that, it looked like he tried to carry a little more speed than Johnny Boy through the chicane.
Yeah, it looks like the nickname of Monza Mayhem is definitely holding up. Here's old man Pip looking to go down the inside of Lead Pencil. And they're going to be side by side as they come across the start-finish line. And it's, who is going to hold their nerve as we approach the Curva Grande. Of course, Lead Pencil has got the slipstream of Santa Miguel, though, so it looks like Lead Pencil is now going to move up into 6th position. And Old Man Pip follows suit as well into P7 with Santa Miguel losing 2 positions before the Curva Grande, Tati.
Yeah, that was, I was glued to that battle, too. That was an excellent move right before Curva Grande there. I knew he was going to win out because he had slip, but I didn't think he was going to leave Santa Miguel out to dry either.
And Santa Miguel has front and rear damage, and that affects the downforce, that affects the top speed, so I imagine it's a bit of a struggle. And as we were looking around, I noticed that the incident on lap 1 really helped those hard tire runners. They're most likely on the no-stop strategy. And, we got Spawn, I believe, is on the hards, and that allowed him to move up a little bit. And these soft tire runners like Horn, who we're on board with right now, are really trying to push. Really played in Bandit's favor. Also on the softs, he's going to most likely pit. I don't think any of them can make the softs last the entire time. So those on the softs really need to push hard, get away from those hard tire runners, get away from the traffic, and try to run their own race.
Yes, indeed. And something I didn't actually realise was, as you mentioned, TKs, was that I thought it was the hards and the softs that were mandatory. Didn't realise it's just optional. So that's kind of thrown a spanner in my works in terms of as Spawn just uses the slipstream and powers past Lead Pencil into 5th position. But yeah, definitely thrown a spanner in the works in terms of the strategy I thought the drivers were going to use. Right. I do suspect, though, Lead Pencil with a late dive down the inside. And it's clean. Spawn loses control of the car as he clipped the sausage there, and that is the danger as Spawn loses about 3 positions down into 9th position now. But what a move from who was it in P6? Lead Pencil, wasn't it? Yeah. It was a late move, but there was no contact there, and it was a very I've forgotten what the word is. Opportunistic? Is that even a word?
Opportunistic.
Yeah, exactly.
I know Lead Pencil a little bit, and he's not a very aggressive driver. He's much more of a patient driver. But I think the incident on lap 1 has lit a fire under him. He wants those positions back, and he's going to take every move he can. And it's fun to see. I'm enjoying this.
Ooh, MB hopping 13th with a penalty.
Oh, so he's race going from bad to worse then, as it looks like Old Man Pip has now got that slipstream, although pushes Lead Pencil on, so interesting tactic there. Maybe looking to give Lead Pencil that boost, and then, you don't want to be going on the outside on the grass there. Old Man Pip, very lucky not to lose control of that car. Unless that is netcode, I'm not sure, but Old Man Pip, I feared for his life there, to be honest, as we go into the chicane. Now, Pencil goes sideways and off the track, and Lead Pencil is... Oh, what?
He saved it. He saved it.
Oh, he saved it.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
That's just showing how dangerous those curves are, because you obviously want to take the shortest line through there, which means you got to get a little bit on that curve. But we've seen, I don't know, at least 4 drivers get that to unsettle their car. Lead lucky not to go all the way around there.
Oh, man. Wow.
Yeah, they're definitely having us on the edge of our seats right now, because these cars are absolute monsters. Very difficult to control the car, but as you just mentioned, that was a brilliant save from Lead Pencil, because for the life of me, I thought it was going to be into the wall there. So, of course, he has got that rear bumper damage though, which may make the car a little bit more oversteery than normal. So Lead Pencil experiencing a few issues with that car right now, but still doing a great job in 5th position. Meanwhile, we have got Santa Miguel, who is not too far behind Johnny Boy, but I think he's just outside of that slipstream. He's got front and rear aero damage, so that will be slowing him down so much, I do believe. Yeah, he's not able to catch to the back of Johnny Boy, and actually lost about half a second down the straight there. So he's
contact between 5th and 6th. Sorry.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah, Lead Pencil chasing Old Man Pip. Old Man Pip had made a pass in the start-finish straight. They get to the chicane, and damage between, or contact rather, between Lead Pencil and Old Man Pip. I don't see that Old Man has picked up any additional damage, but he's lost like 2.5 seconds on him, where he was ahead of him.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, we're just going to stay on board with the drivers, but we may look at a replay shortly to see exactly what happened there. But at the moment, it's looking like Old Man Pip is safe for the time being, as he goes a bit scribbly out the exit of Ascari there. So we're going to have a look on the replay now then. So it's Lead Pencil on Old Man Pip, fighting for that 5th position. So as we come up to the De La Roggia chicane, there's Lead Pencil with the contact. And oh, it's a big shunt on Old Man Pip as he got reset on to the circuit. And yeah, Lead Pencil, I don't know, how did he not get damage from that? Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. How did Old Man Pip not get damage, actually, more importantly?
That doesn't make any sense. I see what Led was trying to do. He was just a split second too late of coming out from behind him. He was trying to do another lunge up the inside, which we've seen him do 3 or 4 times now, but he was just a little late on that and ends up tagging Old Man Pip for, yeah.
Well,
wow, very lucky.
I just want to quickly mention we have got a very generous donation from the legend that is GT Slow-Mo with a $10 donation saying, great to see so many joining us for today's races, killing it flawed, TKs and Tati. We appreciate that compliment. Of course, the legend that is Slow-Mo from the Friday races with the awesome trio of Leo, Toon, and of course the main man there, well, not the main, they're all the main men, should I say, GT Slow-Mo. So thank you so much, Slow-Mo. That obviously means a lot to us, to all the drivers involved as well, and adding to the prize pot there. Yeah, really appreciate that, mate, and hopefully you're doing well as well. But yeah, we've certainly got a very intense race here at Monza. We are starting to approach the halfway mark. We're on lap 10 of 23. It looks like Slick for the time being doing very well in 4th position. The soft tyres are starting to wear down a little bit, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of strategy he comes up with, whether or not he will stay on the soft tyres or move over to the hard tyres. But you can see that that gap has closed drastically to PHG Horner Plenty, who currently holds the last step on the podium in 3rd position. The gap is about 2 car lengths, about half a second. So he's definitely going to have the overspeed as we come down the straight up the hill to Ascari. Yeah, he won't want to do what Lead Pencil there. He will need to get on them brakes that tad bit earlier, try and keep it smooth through Ascari, which he does just about, and this is going to set him up on the move for Horner Plenty, either just before the Parabolica or certainly down the pit wall straight as we get into the braking zone now. And yeah, he's got to be the smooth operator as you come out the exit, which yeah, he does brilliantly, and he's certainly gonna be in kind of favourite really to slingshot his way past Horner Plenty as we come across the start finish line. And there's Slick up the inside now to move up into 3rd position. Then he's going to have that inside line as well, which is the optimal line and the less scary line, of course, as well. And yeah, he moves up into third. Horn of Plenty, though, still in the fight here, though, as we come up to the De La Roggia chicane now. But Horn of Plenty looking to just tuck in behind him for fourth position. But I did hear something there, Tassie. Anything happening your end?
Parquet and P. Rosal still going at it for P10. A little bit of contact between the two of them in the Parabolica. I think Parquet came away cleanly from it with a little bit of a gap to P. Rosal, but of course that slipstream is strong, and Rosal right back on his bumper now. His diffuser, such as it would be, GR2, GR1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I want to point out, Horn of Plenty started out with behind Parquet and P. Rosal, and is now up into P3. He is on the soft, so different strategy than these two as they continue to battle it out. But I mean, that is incredible to go all the way from the back up to P3 as we are approaching that pit window for the soft runners. Oh, it's in the back.
Santa Miguel.
Oh.
Santa Miguel in 12th place. He just pitted to get off, to get fresh softs. Picked up a second penalty as soon as he came out, and now this.
Okay. Yeah, we're on the replay now, actually. So we're on board with Santa Miguel. Oh, okay.
Can't touch the green stuff. You can't touch the green stuff.
No.
Oh, man.
You're very correct there. Yeah, the curbs are brutal around here, and certainly the AstroTurf on the outside, very, very slippery. And one thing I definitely noticed in testing, you can't get the accelerator down whilst you're turning as well, because the car does become very unstable as P. Rosal looks like he's pushing Parquet down the straight. Currently P10 for Parquet, P11 for P. Rosal. It's going to be interesting. Yes, he does pull to the side then, looks to slingshot his way past Parquet then to move up into 10th position. Of course, yeah, just interestingly, he's on the hard tyres here, so looking to maybe do the no stop.
Yeah. Vlad, I noticed this is interesting. So we talked about, like you were just saying, if you started on the hards, most likely doing the no stop. Spawn started on the hards, and he has just pitted for the softs, but you only lose about 19 seconds in the pit, so it's not that bad. And based on what we've seen these soft runners do as far as Bandit, Horn, and Pelias pull away, maybe it is better to do a hard soft rather than a soft, or maybe he was thinking he was going to do a no stopper and something happened that caused him to need to pit anyways. But it is interesting to see. I was expecting the hard runners to do the no stop and the soft runners to do a soft, but Spawn has opted to go hard soft.
Yes. Well, there's a big difference in lap times between the softs and the hards. As we just saw, Parquet made the move on P. Rosal, as P. Rosal made a bit of a mistake a little bit earlier on, and Parquet able to take full advantage to move back up into 10th position. We are on board with Johnny Boy, who is looking to challenge Old Man Pip for that 5th position as we come into the chicane now. But yeah, for the time being, looks like Johnny Boy is going to remain behind Old Man Pip. Of course, just making the change onto some fresh soft tyres, so he should be rather competitive at this stage of the race, and maybe looking to stay on them soft tyres for the rest of the race as well. But yeah, certainly the lap times between the softs and the hards, roughly about 3 to 4 seconds, depending on how consistent you are on the hards as opposed to the softs. But yeah, it's one of them really. It's about how much you can sort of save them tyres, and to be honest, I said earlier that I thought you know, some of the drivers might have picked up on upshifting very quickly using the low RPM to their advantage, but there's quite a lot of drivers that are not doing that, and I I can only imagine that is hindering them in the race in terms of the tyre wear. But I guess we've still got 9 laps remaining as Johnny Boy pulls to the side after grabbing that slipstream over Old Man Pip, and he moves up into P5 as we come up to the Curva Grande for the 14th time. And yeah, Johnny Boy just pulling away for the time being. Looks like he is going to stay in front as we come up to the Della Roggia chicane, with Slick actually not too far behind in 7th now as well. So coming to the back of Old Man Pip and putting him under all types of pressure. So certainly there is a battle for 5th position between Johnny Boy, Old Man Pip and Slick. And we'll see if the roles will be reversed in the coming laps, but yeah, certainly within slipstream range of each other. So yeah, I mean, TK, so we are sort of just past the halfway mark of this race. I mean, can we expect to see more drama in the second half of this race?
I think so, as we're seeing it right now as they run a little wide. The slipstream is so strong. It's so strong. So you pass somebody at the end of the lap, and next thing you know, you're coming up to the chicane and there's 3 cars right on your tail. So while it's spread out a little bit in some areas, it seems like there's some good clusters. So I think there's just going to be action packed to the end. We might not see as much up at the front, but I think we're going to see at least one drag race across the line once we get to that 23rd lap.
Indeed. And Tati, how's he looking on your end?
Well, I'm actually watching from Slick's point of view, and he and Old Man Pip are swapping positions. There was a swap into the Parabolica. There's a swap into Curva Grande. These two are going at it, and I guess Johnny Boy's going to hopefully run away. And another move right now by Slick into this is a chicane, the Del Raggio, but he makes it stick. He makes it stick over Old Man Pip. They're going back and forth, and it's fantastic.
Maybe if we can get a replay on that, see exactly what happened there. But yeah, it looks like definitely a cat and mouse game between P5, 6 and 7. Old Man Pip at the back of the trio currently, as we look on board with the replay now, coming into the Della Roggia chicane, and he says clean as you like from PHG Slick as he moves up the inside of Old Man Pip to move up into 6th position. Kudos to him for sure.
I think that was smart of Old Man Pip. Yeah, I think that was smart of Old Man Pip to not try to close the door, defend. He saw Slick, who just spins. Oh my goodness. He saw Slick go in there and let him through. But here, we'll take a look at this again. You can walk us through it, Flawed.
Okay, yeah, just coming up to the Ascari chicane now. Old Man Pip gets in front to move up into 6th, and then you don't want to be doing that. Yeah, he caught the sausage on the inside, ran wide. There was no grip there, and nearly collect spawn in the process as well. Lucky didn't come all the way across the circuit there to collect spawn, otherwise he would have become a cropper too. But yeah, lost a few positions there, and I think maybe a bit of damage as well, as Lead Pencil just picks up a 1-second penalty for cutting track limits at the chicane. So we ride on board with him now on the replay, and you'll see for yourselves that track limits are quite tight at the Della Roggia chicane, and yeah, if you get too much with the inside line, then you will pick up a 1-second penalty, as he does, and yeah, that may be costly for him. As he's about to serve his penalty now. He has actually got a 6.5 second penalty, 6.5 second penalty gap between him and Johnny Boy. But yeah, he's going to lose the toe to Horner Plenty, who's just in front of him, pulling away now to just under 2 seconds. But we still got at least 7 laps to go here. So still a lot can happen, and it normally does as well, Tati.
Sorry about that. You went to me right as I muted to cough. I'm watching Old Man Pip, who was just on top of Johnny Boy, and then I looked away for half a second, and now it's a 4.3 second gap, and he's in spawned clutches. I don't know what happened to him. There's no damage. I don't see that he's been in the grass or anything. Just somehow he made a massive mistake coming out of Ascari, I believe. And now he's getting passed. Spawn getting past him right now.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. Sorry, go on, TK.
Oh, I think Spawn just really didn't like those hard tires because while he did lose out some positions for pitting, he's still ahead of where he started on those softs, and he seems to have some really good pace. Much like Lead Pencil has really good pace. It's got to be frustrating to know that you're the fastest one on track and be as far back as you are due to some incidents.
Yeah, indeed. But it seems like we've got a few battles on circuit. I did actually read from Slow Mo that Polias is closing in on Bandit as well for the lead of the race. Yeah, certainly the gap between Holder Plenty and Lead Pencil is 1.2 seconds. It does seem like Lead Pencil's got a fair bit of pace about him at this stage of the race, even though them soft tyres starting to wear down a little bit on them rears. But I'm not sure about Holder Plenty's, but the gap is now down to about a second. So as he goes purple, and the fastest lap of the race from Lead Pencil, a 1 minute 28.065. So yeah, certainly proof in the pudding that he is the fastest man on the circuit right now, and looking to apply all types of pressure to Horner Plenty to try and steal that podium position, and join us for the interviews later on as he goes even quicker through sector 1, 2 tenths up on his previous best. So this man is absolutely flying right now, T-Case.
Absolutely. I do want to point out that this is the view that Lead Pencil uses. He is on a wheel, but he uses the chase cam, and he is so quick. As Horn knows, I mean, based on qualifying time, Horn knows Lead has the pace. They are teammates, both PHG members, kind of letting Lead go and maybe not hinder him from possibly chasing down those leaders, and try to stay in the tow and let Lead pull him along, follow some of Lead's lines, as long as he's not cutting the chicane too much, and could benefit Horn as well.
Yes, indeed. And yeah, it made it look easy there. Maybe Holder Plenty, as you said, maybe just letting his teammate through there. Didn't want to hinder his race. So I'm just looking at the comments as well, with Sugar Shuffle saying that there's plenty left on the softs right now. I don't know if I agree with that, to be honest, because once the tyres go past the halfway mark, the car becomes pretty unstable, particularly on the rear tyres as well. These cars are a handful at the best of times, let alone once the rear tyres start diminishing as well. So maybe Sugar Shuffles has got the skill, though. You know, maybe it's nothing to him, but because he's a fine driver for sure. But yeah, certainly Pilates Pango, he is about 7.5 seconds away from Bandit. Bandit is in a very good position here, but I'm not 100% sure about his tyres as we look on board with Spawn, and it's very close between him and Johnny Boy, fighting it out for P5 as we look on a replay now. And Spawn, it looks like he had the advantage here as we come up to the Curva Grande, and had the overspeed as Johnny Boy took the inside lines. He did weave a little bit there and made Spawn's life a little bit awkward, but Spawn up the inside, went a bit deep, but made it work still and moved up into P5, Tatty.
Yeah, there's a lot going on track right now, and a lot kind of like on the side. I'm watching, I think I just saw Parquet pit for fresh softs. It's kind of late in the game. He's sitting in like 12th or 13th place, but I mean, everywhere we look, there's the battle of two cars. You know, we go away from one and another one right back off. This is great.
Did I just see a blue flag? Are we coming up on lap traffic? It looked like one of the marshals was waving a blue flag out there.
That was Polias Pango passing. Who did I just see? He just passed someone. He did pass a back marker, though. Yes.
Okay. That's really exciting when it gets that mixed up and you got back markers to deal with.
Oh, as it looks like Spawn again has got the overspeed on Johnny Boy, and Johnny Boy does back out of it. Let's Spawn through, which is probably the wise thing to do, because you don't really want to be battling through the chicane here, because we've seen it time and time again that when you're that close together, normally there's contact. Normally there is some sort of pile up. Oh, as Johnny Boy goes a little bit wide out of Lesbo 1. Had to get on the brakes, and that would have cost him to battle for spawn. And actually, Old Man Pip now closing the gap in 7th position. It is down to just over a second. So Old Man Pip will just about be in that slipstream range, and hoping for more mistakes from Johnny Boy to steal that 6th position away from him. But in fact, look at the gap. It is really close to about 0.6 of a second. So Old Man Pip is on a charge right now, and he really wants P Steve right now as we come up to the Parabolica for the 20th time. Oh, yellow flag.
Yellow flag. Who was that? Oh,
it's one of Lindsay.
No.
Oh, no. In such a great position as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure, wasn't he on podium or P4? I think it was P4, yeah. So coming up to Parabolica then, on the replay we look, and did he just get on the pad too early? He did.
It was what you were saying, Flawed. It was what you were saying. Look, those tires, his back rear tires at that 50% mark, getting on the throttle. I mean, you nailed it. You nailed it with the tire wear, Flawed. Good eye.
Just forgot about the mandatory tyres, but you know, slight oversight on that one.
Man.
But yeah, that's so unlucky. Yeah, you have to be a smooth operator on these sort of slow or even medium speed corners, because the back end really wants to kick out on you. As we look on board with a replay between Old Man Pip and a little bit of contact from behind. And that sent him a little bit wide. It's a good save though, and interestingly, no damage as well. So Johnny Boy is a very, very lucky boy there, I have to say. Yeah, they're able to continue on with their races with just 2.5 laps left, or even 2 and a bit laps remaining, as Police Pango, Bandit, Lead Pencil, P. Roswell as well, who interesting to see him down in 12th position, starting the penultimate lap of the race then. Police Pango has now 10 seconds to RTS Bandit. So RTS Bandit absolutely flying right now, and he is looking very, very comfortable in saying that he's got half a second penalty, but maybe he can afford to pick up these penalties right now, because we've got 2 laps remaining, and with such a lengthy lead, surely he'll bring home the race lead. So very important not to bottle it, but of course very easy to lose control of these cars. So he really needs to just bring it home and hope he can grab his first victory of the season. P. Roswell, yes, down into P13 then, not having the best of races unfortunately, but he is within a second to Santa Miguel, who's also not having the best of races after riding so high early on in the race. Lead Pencil though in P3 as P. Roswell goes sideways in the background into the barrier, and just having an absolute nightmare as we look on board with the replay now. But talk us through this, T-Case.
Yeah, as he comes through, gets on the inside, and just a little too much curb, getting the throttle, then you get a little tank flapper, you try to correct it, and next thing you know, you're in the barriers.
He had a mistake there a couple of laps ago as well. He unlapped himself from Police Pango. I was watching right as you guys saw Horn of Plenty's crash, actually, so I didn't say anything. But he unlapped himself by the first chicane and then plowed through it. So I think that chicane's giving him trouble altogether.
I don't know about you guys, but I am stressed out. Like, this race has me tense, and I cannot imagine what these drivers are going through.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, I mean, it's as we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, just very important to keep it nice and smooth, not push it too hard on the exits of corners, and certainly short shifting was the important thing. I just wish that maybe some of the drivers knew this at the start of the race, because I do feel like had they have known that, maybe they would have had better results. But certainly one person with a fantastic result by the looks of it is RTS Bandit, because he's coming around the final corner now at Parabolica, and he's going to grab the race win in Saturday Division B Round 2 at Monza. Congratulations to RTS Bandit with a fantastic win and a very comfortable win in the end over Polaris Pango with another great result for him, grabbing a second with P1 and P2 from the opening 2 rounds of Season 5. Lead Pencil, though, grabs an excellent podium for him, and he finishes in 3rd position ahead of what it looks like Spawn then, who's going to grab 4th position, and a very good result for him with Old Man Pip grabbing a top 5 position just ahead of Johnny Boy in P6, with P. Rosal finishing in 13th position. Now we've got PHG Arrow, looks like he's just about going to finish in front of his teammate Horner Plenty in P8, and it looks like PHG Slick just on the back straight on the run up to Parabolica, and looks like he's got a comfortable lead over MD Hop, so he can literally just cruise around the final corner to bring home a 9th position ahead of MD Hop, who is 11.5 seconds down on him. Remember, MD Hop starting in 2nd position in this race, and unfortunately just not having a great race and not a great time of it as he comes across the line to finish in 10th position. And then lastly we've got Parquet, who finishes in 11th position. But TK's, what are your thoughts on this race?
Ooh, I'm glad it's over. That was fun. 2 things I wanted to point out. One is Spawn doing the kind of F1 strategy where he didn't necessarily have to pit. I wasn't sure what position he was in when he pitted, but ended up P4 and grabbing that fastest lap because he had the freshest softs at the end of that race. And then Bandit just all out domination there, taking advantage of the early lap incident, and wow.
Yeah, it's a crazy race, but well deserved for Bandit. I will come to you, Tati, in a mo, but I'm just going to quickly read out the provisional race results, because I do feel like there could be a few steward inquiries thrown into the mix in the coming week. So for now, it is RTS Bandit who claims the race victory from round 2 at Monza in this Saturday Division B heat, ahead of BHR Polaris Pango with an excellent 2nd position, who finished just in front of I say just in front, it was 9 seconds in front of PHG Lead Pencil with another excellent result for him. 4th was Spawn, and another excellent result, and he'll be very happy with that, I'm sure, with Old Man Pip coming home in 5th position. Then it was BHR Johnny Boy in 6th position, very close between the 2 drivers, but separated by a second. And then PHG Arrow comes home in 7th position ahead of his teammate Horner Plenty, who grabs P8. P9 goes to the other of the PHG drivers in Slick for 9th position ahead of MD Hop in 10th position. And then Parquet comes home in 11th position with Santa Miguel. Can't feel for him because he was doing well in this race, but comes home in 12th position, a lap down, with P. Rosal also having a bit of a nightmare to finish in 13th position. But we're going to get the thoughts of the top 3 drivers very shortly. But just quickly, Tati, what are your thoughts?
I mean, wow. We said that Monza would bring the action, and it absolutely did. Huge shakeup in lap 1, and then we saw so many battles come together and end on, sometimes just small mistakes. But like when everyone's going like 200 mile an hour, you mess up, you're done. Which, Santa Miguel found out a lot of penalties and a lot of damage really threw people's races off.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, Monza Mayhem it was certainly, but it looks like we've got a couple of the drivers in the interview round. So we're gonna come to the race winner. That is RTS Bandit with the race victory. Congratulations to you. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling good. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yep, good deal. Yeah, I feel good. It's a long time coming. Want to give a shout out to Hanky's Tavern and Little J CPA for sponsoring us, and all the drivers. It was a great great race. I had a good time. And the first chicane was kind of crazy, but other than that, it was pretty smooth.
Yeah, well, just talking about the incident at the chicane. I mean, so yeah, you was able to sort of grab the lead quite early on. So, what was your thoughts at that point there? I mean, was there a particular sort of race plan from there? Was it just like, oh, maybe just keep it consistent, keep it on the track, and try and bring home the race victory?
That's exactly what happened. I got out front early, and it just I got in my head that I just need to run laps, not race. So I just kept repeating run laps every time I crossed the finish line, and I had two little bobbles, but other than that, it was pretty smooth, and I was pretty happy to finally get a podium.
Yeah, and I think this might be the first time that we're speaking to you as well in the interview booth as well. So it's great to hear from you, Bandit. Congratulations on that first position. I'm going to go to Tati first. Have you got any thoughts or questions towards our race winner?
Absolutely. Obviously, first of all, congratulations, Bandit. You really did put on a clinic. I think you said you had a couple bobbles. I only saw one. I think you picked up like a half-second penalty towards the end there. I mean, when that happens, I mean, it's Monza, right? Like you can't drive Monza without some sort of fear. What was your plan if you were to have a mistake, or were you going to change your pit strategy, or what? Like, what happens if you did get it wrong, Bandit?
Well, yeah, I was definitely going to do an extra pit if I had to and try to make the time up. I had that in my head. If I would have had any damage or anything on that first chicane, I was definitely going to be pitting and just try to make it up with clean air.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I got through there and didn't have to worry about it. As far as picking up the penalty, that was pretty late in the race, and I was purple going into the chicane, and I always cut those curbs anyway, but if you touch it with your right tire, it gives you a ticket, 5 tenths of a ticket, and that's what I got trying to get a fast lap. And as soon as that happened, I slowed back down to run laps, run laps. That's the only time in the race where I said, okay, let's go and try to get that fast lap. And I got that little error for it.
Yeah, easily done. But TK, have you got any questions at all?
Yeah, congratulations, Bandit. That was masterclass right there. You just ran away. And because you just ran away, we didn't get to see you very much on screen. I'm curious, did you have any issues with lap traffic? Because you probably would have lapped the most people, or was everybody pretty cordial?
No, everybody was fine. Actually, you asked if I had an issue. That is funny. When I went off in the second chicane, I was actually catching up to lap or traffic, and I looked up and glanced and saw him, and I glanced back down, and it was too late. I was already off the line and went off the road there. That was the only other bobble that I really had the whole race.
Interesting. Yeah, it's crazy when you're going that fast. Just the tiniest distraction can mess it up. But yeah, I mean, that was an amazing race, man. Congratulations. Great win. Good job.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Again, a big shout out to Hankey's Tavern and Little JCPA. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, congratulations again.
Yeah, congratulations, Bandit. And, obviously stick around for the end of the broadcast to see what comes up in the next round. But thank you, Bandit.
Thank you.
Bye. And to our second place finisher, then it was Polias Pango with it's a P1 and P2 from this season. Polias Pango, excellent second position for you. How are you feeling after that?
I'm feeling pretty good. Lucky to survive all the carnage in lap one. I think on my end in the replay, I would have been a goner. Empty up, literally ghosted right as I was about to I was on the brakes already, about to slam into him, and I got super lucky with that.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost like musical Cars going into that chicane. I mean, what were your thoughts? You know, as you kind of like looked in your mirror and see like cars going all over the place. It kind of like panic and just like try to pull away as quickly as possible to avoid any future sort of like pileups.
Yeah, and just trying to just get a gap between whoever's behind. Especially kind of with overtaking is pretty hard, especially with trying to give everyone the proper space and all that. So just kind of keep in mind of that, and also not to push too hard to make a mistake.
Yes, indeed. And just, you know, in terms of like your race plan, because there was, you know, quite a few strategies on play. You know, what plan did you like go on, or did you? Sorry, let me rephrase it. What you might have done in practice, was it different to how the race planned out for you in terms of strategy?
It was pretty much the same. I tried doing like
Okay.
a no stop on the hards, but I felt like that whatever time advantage I'd gain, I'd kind of lose that by the time the first set of soft runners would pit. So I just decided to stick to just the softs and two softs.
Yeah, in this particular car, probably the wise choice, and obviously grabbing that excellent second position. So, well done on that. TK, any thoughts, questions?
Yeah, Pelias, great job, man. Congratulations on the P2. You probably had, aside from that first chicane excitement, you probably had the kind of the most boring race out of everybody. You moved up one position up into P2. So many other people were just all over the place, back and forth in position. I'm curious, did you have any moments or incidents out there on track that kind of made your heart skip a beat?
I had a few. I almost lost it twice in Ascari, and Parabolica, I almost lost it too. Just trying to bring it home. So just kind of just calm myself down, take it easy, and just bring it home.
And you did just that, man. Great job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And lastly, as well, Tassie, any thoughts and questions to our second place finisher?
Sure thing. I feel like the second half of your race was fairly quiet, but I did see you lap P. Rosal, I believe it was. But then that slip is powerful. P. Rosal caught right back up to you and unlapped himself, I think the next lap or something like that, but then promptly crashed. Did you have any other issues with lap traffic at all? Or was that kind of the closest like heart and throat moment you had?
It was just not necessarily that it was an issue, just kind of just let him go. Now that he's running his own race, I'm running my race. Let him by, and then he was pretty respectful when he did kind of overshoot the first chicane to like stop before entering the track and let me go by. So I appreciated that.
Got it. Well, then that's fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations on second position. Just one final question, I suppose, Pelias. So obviously you've grabbed first position, now second position. So are you feeling quite confident going into sort of the last race of the group stage? And, you know, because that is good points that you've picked up there. So does that kind of like take the pressure off now going into the last round of the group stage?
Yeah, it definitely does feel pretty good about these two results, and just less pressure for race 3 and just kind of more focused towards whatever the combination is going to be for the panel.
Yes, indeed. Well, as I said, congratulations on second position, and obviously, wait around for the combo. I'm sure it'll be another banger, another exciting combo. But congratulations, and you get a well-deserved rest now, and good luck, obviously, for next round as well.
You guys.
Thank you, Pelias. And lastly, our third place finisher, grabbing the last step on the podium, we have PHG Lead Pencil. Congratulations to you, and how are you feeling after that?
I'm good. Thank you very much. I feel like I need an hour or so to calm down, actually, if I'm being honest. That was a wild race. Holy cow.
Yes, indeed it was. Yeah, I mean, like us in the commentary booth, we was on the edge of our seats. We didn't know how it was going to pan out. There was collisions everywhere, particularly at the De La Roggia chicane. I mean, I've got to ask the same question, really. Obviously, there was a big pile up in the chicane. So, what was your thoughts from there, and you know, what kind of race it could have been?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I had P1, I had pole by 7/10, so I was like, man, I've got pace for this track. So I felt really confident based off of how, you know, it's tough being in first there, but I mean, I didn't mind it because I would probably have an opportunity to position my car exactly how I would want. Yep. And so I just watched while I was waiting for my turn. I just watched the replay, and goodness, I had so much space around me going through the first apex. MD Hop had come to the right side, so he had that end, but I had the inside line going to the first part of the chicane. And so, I mean, if everything goes fine there, it's I think I can just run away. Honestly, after that, I have a really good shot at it. But unfortunately, we had quite the incident there. I feel for you, Parquet. I know you didn't mean to. It's not a purpose thing. We love you, man. Don't take it too hard, okay, bud?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, go on. Yep.
I was just gonna say after that, I got MD Hop ended up hitting me because of him getting pushed. So I ended up into the gravel. And then I got damage from someone hitting me behind as I was rejoining, and then I didn't factor in the dirty tires like I should have, so I went off one more time, and so I ended up next to last after that.
Wow. Yeah, well, this is it. You know, you went near enough at the back of the pack. So, you know, what was your thoughts from that point on? Because obviously you've made up so many positions to get third position in the end. So, what was your I'm trying to think of the word.
Strategy.
Yeah. Your mindset. Yeah. What was your mindset going from that moment onwards?
So here's the thing about the NRL that I'm learning, right? You have to be ready for damage to change your strategy. You have to be ready. There's no resetting the damage. It's not gonna. And then the other thing you got to remember that I try to remember is there is no retry button in this. So what had happened is just what it is, right? And so, but I have to give major props to my boy Octia, who, if anyone came in on stream, you would hear another voice besides mine. He was my crew chief for the afternoon, and he provides me with some pretty detailed information, and so so we quickly found out that an option to go onto the hards afterwards was there and just try to do a no stop. But I really hated the hards. This car with that tire compound was just merciless. It really was. And so we went ahead and said, it's slow with all this damage, but it's not that slow. So what if we just kept going? And we figured that it would probably be worth it. So it was in the end. I did. The only thing I changed really was I pitted one lap earlier for the softs. I pitted lap 10 instead of pitting 11 when I would have normally done it. So just had that extra. Just get one more lap with no damage. Basically, was the plan.
Yeah, and it certainly worked for you. So congratulations on the position. And we'll have to ask Kazunori if he can apply a rewind button or something for the live races. But
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, but Tati, have you got any thoughts, questions for our third place finisher?
Be honest, he answered every question I had in his answer to your question there. Just like, well, what was the plan once it all kind of fell apart? But, going up to third place, like you meant, you were second to last at some point. So I never expected to see you in third place there. And to learn that you did still, no, sorry, you didn't. You pit for damage, but you did take the hard, correct? That's what you said?
No, I didn't pit. I
Oh,
just dealt with the damage until
dealt with
lap
it.
10. So I pitted one lap early to get back on to go soft to soft.
Got it. Sorry, I wasn't quite understanding that. That makes sense now.
Sure.
Yeah, no, congratulations. I mean, this is a big points pickup. I think you finished in sixth last week. You finished ahead of everyone who's ahead of you in the championship so far, short of Pelias Pango. So you're going to be coming into round 3 and then the finals in an incredible place.
Good. That's great to hear. I appreciate that information for sure.
I mean, obviously this is all provisional, but
Yeah. I do want to apologize while I have a chance to pip. We got our braking spots a little different there into turn one, so I did end up tapping him at one point, not intentional. And unfortunately, I'll be totally transparent. The game ended up resetting him, which is just maddening. But
Yeah.
Anyway.
And TK, your thoughts and questions to Le Pencil?
Led, that was you made that so exciting.
Cool.
we all felt for you at the beginning, especially with it coming from so far back, and we saw the replay with you at MD Hop, just super respectful, a lot of space given. And I commented, I was like, I've been around Led long enough to know he's not a super aggressive driver, but when it came time to it and you fell all the way to the back, man, you were on a mission. So I don't have any questions. I just want to say great job and thanks for making that very exciting to watch.
Well, thanks. I'm glad it worked out. It's one of those things where bad stuff happens and it's really easy for everything. Anyone playing this game knows anything. It just could spiral out of control. And so it definitely required, a lot of pushing, but, careful pushing basically is what it is, especially with the long stints on the softs. Those last few laps on the softs get really tricky. Still better than the hards, but still tricky.
Well, great job, man. That was awesome.
Thank you, T.
Yeah, and I have to second that as well. I mean, that was a great fight back from you. And I'm definitely going to look forward to looking at the replays and see all the overtakes and how that strategy came to perfection in the end. As Tati mentioned, you've had very consistent results from round 1 and round 2. So you should be feeling rather confident now going into the last round of the group stage.
Yeah, I'm looking forward probably in a few hours to seeing what that's going to be, and got a week to prepare. So it's on to the next one. I love it. Indeed.
Well, as I said, congratulations to you on 3rd position, and relax and look forward to the combos at the end of the broadcast, and look forward to seeing how you get on next week, Le Pencil.
Good deal. All right. Thanks, friends. We'll see you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye. And before we go for a break, we've got 2 donations that have popped in. We've got a massive £20 donation from Dakara Spawn Black saying, "Thank you, Naughty. Keep up the great work on the commentary. This is for the money pot for all the drivers competing and everyone involved behind the scenes." Thank you very much, Dakara. That is an amazing donation, and I'm pretty sure all the drivers and us and everyone involved in the NRL really appreciate that, as you've really built up the prize pot for everyone. So thank you very much, Spawn, and congratulations on 4th position as well. And also, we've got 2 other donations come in, and we've got one from Roots, which is is it Canadian? Is it $2.79 for the Legends? Thank you so much, Root. Very, very kind from you as well as Fernando Button as well, a US $20 donation. Saying, "Great job, BHR. Thank you so much for the continued support. I know you do gift a lot of the memberships as well, so it is super, super kind. And for all 3 of the donations, thank you so much for all the support and building up that prize pot for everyone. Thank you very much. And that does conclude the top 3 for Division B in the interview room. And yeah, we are going to go for a quick break. So grab yourself a beverage, and when we come back, we will run down the Division B standings as well as the next race, the second round of Division A. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly. Welcome back to the NRL, brought to you by Henke's Tavern and Little J CPA, our sponsors for Season 5. So, without further ado, let's see how today's results have affected things and run you through the standings for Saturday Division B after 2 rounds. T-Case, take it away, please.
All right, well, we got the leader of Division B, Pelias Pango in P1 with 43 points. Wow, that is a commanding lead. Then we have Bandit in P2 with 27 points. Old Man Pip keeping up there, P3 with 25 points. PHG Lead Pencil in P4 with 23 points. Slick SHVR2 in P5 with 20 points, and then we have Spawn in P6 with 18 points. With 16 points in P7, we have PHG Arrow, followed by Parquet with 12 points in P8. Then we have PHG Horn of Plenty with 8 points, tied with Johnny BHR Johnny Boy, also 8 points. Then we have P11 P Rosal with 2 points. There we go, getting rid of that 4-way tie. Then we have MD Hop and P12 with 1 point, and then a tie for 13th is Santi Miguel and S7R Shadow Chef with no points.
Thank you, T-Case. Okay, so it's now time to take a look at what's coming up for our second race of today, the round 2 of the Saturday Division A. And we are staying in Europe, but this time we are at the infamous Green Hell, a very much love it or hate it location in the woods of Germany for the visit of the Nürburgring in its F1 or GP configuration. Track length is 3.2 miles with 16 turns in a clockwise direction for this 11-lap race with a false start and grid start ahead of a 10-minute qualifying session. They'll be using the Citroen DS3 Racing 2011 car, which produces 203 brake horsepower at 6,000 RPM in this 1.6-litre turbocharged mini machine. It's front-engined with power to its front wheels and weighs in at just 1,165 kilos. Balance of power is enabled with a PP limit and no settings can be tweaked. Mechanical damage is set to heavy. They'll be running the sports tyre compounds in this car with just softs and mediums available, and both of them are required. I think I've got that one right this time. Tyre wear rate is set to times 15 and a fuel consumption rate at times 5. Drivers will need to look after their tyres as this race is a bit of a tyre burner with most of its wear to its fronts. As we are in the group stage, this opens up the points allocation with 25 points going to the race winner, 18 for second, 15 for third, and in sequential order down to 10th with 1 point. The driver with the fastest lap finishing in the top 10 will be rewarded with an additional bonus point. Top 14 across both Friday and Saturday combined on points at the end of round 3 will secure their passage to the finals on Saturday, April the 26th. So the driver lineup for the Saturday Division A today is as follows. Almost Podium, Bandits 1, Cyrus Nicky GT, Digital Relay, Felmora, GI Boku, Louise, MMR Moose 21, PHG Caper, PHG Lyric, PHG Salamander, PHG Sheldologist, S7R Nuke, and finally, but not least, we have WID. So please make sure you go and check out their streaming profiles applicable to them, as I'm sure they'll be streaming from their point of view, making sure you keep a tab open for us in the NRL so you don't miss any of the racing action. Right, so yeah, this is a very interesting combo, a little bit unusual, but something we do come to expect in the NRL. But Tati, what are your thoughts on this particular combo?
Well, I am one of the people who's on the side of I love the Nürburgring, and while this isn't the Nordschleife, of course, the GP circuit is actually really, really good. I love it around here. This car it's interesting. I like it better on the sports mediums, but of course, the sports softs are also on tap here. It's a racing car, quote unquote, but it's really softly sprung for me, right? And I love racing and street cars and the like. It's just it's it's going to be interesting to see who can keep it on track. Basically, I think the cars are going to be really close together.
Yeah, it's almost got that kind of touring car vibe, I think. Like certainly that's something we have in the UK, and it always provides the best racing action. TKs, would you agree? And what do you think of this combo?
Absolutely. This is my jam. I love this combo. I ran some lobbies last week using this car, and we had so much fun. A big key is that 15 times tire wear on front wheel drive cars. The Nürburgring GP is a pretty slick circuit, so I think we're going to see those front tires fall off quickly, and cars are going to start going deep and understeering. And with the touring car, I mean, we're going to see a lot of that rubbing is racing. I think we're going to see some door banging, some bumper smashing, and I can't wait.
Well, hopefully not too much door banging, because the damage is set to heavy. But yeah, certainly it's going to bring out some very, very close racing, and certainly lap times as well. I think it's going to be very, very close, and it's just going to be interesting to see how they preserve their tires, really. So both the sports softs and mediums are mandatory. So it's going to be interesting to see what tyre they go on the longest, because obviously it is a 11 lap race, so it's an odd laps in total. But let's talk about the drivers a little bit. So we've got digital relay on screen right now in that bright yellow livery there with the big initials DR, and he is a free agent at the moment, so go snap him up. He's using the Fanatec DD Pro and did a really good job actually in the last round at Grand Valley Highway 1 Reverse, grabbing a 7th position. He is also streaming right now, so go and support him, go and hit that subscribe button for him. It's that digital relay, which makes it very, very simple. But yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting. It's certainly going to be interesting to see whether or not the front runners in the last round, whether or not they'll be equally as strong in this race, because of course this is a road car essentially, not your mundane kind of like group 3s, group 4s and stuff. So it's certainly going to be interesting, and yeah, of course it's a front wheel drive car as well. TKs, you said that you loved this, so you know, tell us about the type of things the driver's going to experience in this one.
Definitely different than your group 3 or group 4. You can brake a lot later. You're gonna want to be patient getting on the throttle. As we see, he's gonna wait and get on it. You don't want to have that wheel spin. I think when these guys get to racing and they're wheel to wheel, it's gonna be who can be patient getting on the throttle, because you're going to want to get on the gas early so you can pull ahead, but it's just going to cause tire wear and understeer. So while it does look like they're going in slow motion compared to the race we just watched, I think it makes for a lot more exciting racing. And I think Tati pointed out, you know, they preferred the car on the mediums. And I will agree with that. Sometimes in these slower cars, the softer compounds can unsteady the car a little bit under braking, make the suspension feel kind of weird. So especially when they're on the sports softs, braking in a straight line, definitely trail braking is a little bit trickier in the front wheel drive cars as well. So just keeping those front tires alive and being patient, I think, is going to be key here.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, for sure. It's all about sort of carrying the speed into the corners, but kind of being smooth at the same time. Don't over rev the car. This car is actually turbocharged, so again, it's better not to completely rev out the car and short shift a little bit, I think, particularly from the testing that I did anyways. But yeah, certainly you got to be quite smooth and try not to, as I said, over rev the car through the exits of the corners, because that will provide understeer on the exit. So yeah, it's certainly quite a unique car to drive. But Tati, have you driven these particular cars before, or something like quite similar to this, and any kind of tips that the drivers would need to have to be fast around here?
I actually did get a few laps in this car on the track, both on the softs and the mediums, and I didn't really find any consistency, but I didn't get to take that many laps. But what I did find was you need to strike the balance between, yes, limiting scrub so you don't eat up those front tires, and so using as much of the track as you can, like you see PHG Caper doing here. But the car is also slow, so you have to know what corners that you should not use all of the track in, right? Because it's just wasting time and making it longer around. So I think at some spots in like Mercedes-Benz Arena, like after turn 1, for me, I found it wasn't worth going out wide to round off turn 2. Because you lost too much time, but it did save the tires a bit. I think that's going to be such a huge key around here.
Wow,
look at all the drivers. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just about to say the times are coming in thick and fast, and wow, with a 2 minutes 20.652. That is a phenomenal lap time, I have to say. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the fastest driver in the world or whatever, but I was getting nowhere near that time. So that is a phenomenal time. And you know, and I thought Moose's time was very good, and that is, I think he's a good second off of Wid's time there. So he just shows you Wid just very versatile kind of driver. It looks like he can drive anything, and he's certainly going to be the man to beat there. But we have it looks like we've got a membership that's just come through from Island Grown, and saying it's welcome to the MVP. So thank you so much for the membership there, Island Grown. Enjoy that membership, more importantly, and obviously that all adds up to the prize pool there. But what's going on your end, Tati?
I'm watching Wid right now after throwing that blazer down. It is a 7/10 difference between himself and Moose, who I think is probably coming up to finish a lap here soon. But yeah, I mean, that's wild to throw that down with cold tires. You know, that was his first lap.
And if you notice, everybody, because these cars are so slow and this track is so big, instead of going around and pitting for fresh tires, everybody just reset for fresh tires. As soon as they cross the line, they paused, reset to the pits, came out, because the outlap takes so long. If they want to get a second lap in on fresh tires, they got to reset to the pits. They don't have enough time to get all the way around again.
Slow little meeps.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, you know, like these are, you know, pretty nippy little cars, but certainly way off from sort of like your Group 3 counterparts. You're talking an extra, 30 seconds or maybe just under that, I think. So yeah, you know, just answer to Island Grown's comment there. I think Wid is AI, but I could be wrong.
That's the Sophie 5.0.
Full there or not.
Can I just point out Sheldolive's livery and how cute that is?
I may have just missed what you said there. Sorry, I might have just missed what you just said there.
Are you talking to me, Flawed?
Yes, I didn't.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to point out Sheldolive's
I see what it
is.
is.
Super cute.
Okay. It looks like
everyone has one of those, I think, right?
Yeah. Isn't it
Yeah, we all
like
do.
At some point in your life, you've been inside of those.
Isn't it like one of them cars where you like it's either got pedals or you use your feet to sort of hit the ground underneath to sort of move it along, kind of thing?
Full Flintstone style. Full Flintstone
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah, got to give him credit for that. At the moment, probably performing like a child at the moment at the back of the grid, but I'm sure he'll go quicker on his lap there as Salamander comes into the pits then, who is in 5th position then. Looks like he is happy with his time for the time being, but it does look pretty close between Moose, Cyrus Nicky and S7R Nuke. It looks like there's about 0.4 of a second separating the 3 drivers right now, with Wid with a bit of an unassailable lead, I have to say. But we'll see if Nuke can go quicker here. He's, of course, part of that formidable S7R racing team that Tassi will know all about. He's using the Fanatec Club Sport DD Plus, and he grabbed an excellent P5, so he's looking for similar things in this race. Maybe he could go a bit better as well. Currently in P4, but he's coming around the final turn now, around the Coca-Cola curve, and he's going to set a 2 minute 21.5, 2 tenths better than his previous best. Moves up into 3rd position ahead of Cyrus Nicky, who is now on his final lap as he approaches that deadly chicane. Has he just about got away with not picking up a penalty? I think he just about did. So crashes into the plastic bollard there as he went full send through the chicane and through the last turn. And Cyrus Nicky is going to come across the line, and he's going to set a 2 minute 21.621, 1.5 tenths quicker, but remains in 4th position. So very, very tight between the top runners, that is for sure, with Salamander just 0.08 of a second quicker than almost podium in 6th position, who is not far off from podium. But Wid has just over 0.9 of a second lead over Moose's fastest time then, with a 2 minute 20.434. That is just absolutely ridiculous. I'm kind of lost for words, to be honest. It has to be said. I'm not 100% sure if Moose can go any quicker, because you can see the wear on his front tyres. I would imagine that must be slowing him down, but we are going to remain on board with him now as we come into sector 2, or the end of sector 2, sorry. And we'll see what time he will possess here. I don't know if he's got 0.9 of a second in him, but I could be surprised as he comes across the line and goes just under a tenth quicker. It's not going to be good enough, but it is nevertheless better than his previous best, and perhaps he will cement that second position, because Nuke has just picked up a half-second penalty. So that will be a dead lap for Nuke. Probably will remain in 3rd position, I think, as in fact it's over. Yes.
Ran out of time.
We ran out of time, so we would have never have known. But let's quickly look at the classified quality results then, as Wid grabs it's just an amazing time on pole position. He'll be starting, of course, from row 1 with that 2 minute 20.434, 9 tenths quicker than a Moose, who will be starting alongside him on row 1. On row 2 is S7R Nuke with a 221.5, just a tenth quicker than Cyrus Nicky, who's going to be starting alongside him on row 2 in P4, that is. Row 3 is going to be PHG Salamander ahead of almost a podium. They'll be starting from row 3. Then we got PHG Lyric on row 4, starting from P7 ahead of PHG Caper in P8. P9, and starting from row 5 is going to be GI Boku. Starting alongside him will be Digital Relay from 10th position. Row 6 is going to be Felmora in P11. Next to him is going to be Louise, starting from P12. And then on row 7, we've got Sheldologist in that kiddie car. Yeah, he's going to be starting from P13. So, I mean, I predicted that it was going to be close between the times, but then we've got WID, haven't we, TK? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, exactly. I was looking at it and I was like, wow, this is remove a few from the list, and it is really tight. And in these cars where carrying speed is crucial, and you might see a little bump draftings, getting in the slipstream on these long straights to try to work together, much like watching an MX5 Cup race. When you have these low-powered cars, it's all about carrying the speed.
Indeed. And Tati as well, your thoughts on qualifying there?
I'm sure that when everyone saw the time, there were many heavy sighs. Just okay. I sat there with Moose watching his last couple of laps to see if he would improve, and I mean, he put together like I couldn't have done them any more perfectly, and just didn't improve. Right, the tire wear was too great, and then he picked up a penalty in the last chicane. Didn't get to finish anyway, but I don't even know what to say with Whit's time. Only thing is maybe they can get him in the very start of the race. I think that's what it's going to have to be. You have to get him into that first turn.
Yeah, that could be the only chance indeed. And yeah, I'm speechless as well, Tessie. I don't know what to say to that. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. I was just looking at the chat as well. Island Grown said that car is Fisher Price. Yeah, that is the perfect description of Sheldologist's car there, as the drivers are lining up on the grid now. So it will be WID and Moose on the front row entering turn 1 first, as we've got 5 red lights. Lights are out and away we go as we start this 11 lap race here at the Nürburgring GP layout in the Division A round 2, as WID has a nose in front of Moose. Moose has got the inside line, but he's going to tuck into P2. We've got Nuke in P3, Cyrus Nicky in P4 with PhD, Lyric and almost podium in a bit of a train right now, although they are starting to bunch up behind. Is there going to be any movers or shakers? It looks like Salamander has lost 2 positions, moves down into 7th position then, although they are fighting tooth and nail in the background. So I think Salamander just moves back up into 6th position, but look at that, cars all over the place as they're battling for position. Looks like Cyrus Nicky has got the inside line to PhD Lyric to hold onto P4, but Lyric's going to have the inside line. And will he take that position away from him? I think he just about does, yes. Just about makes it stick and moves up into P4. Head of Cyrus Nicky. Salamander would have been watching like a hawk in the background, though, as maybe he'll be sizing up an opportunity. It looks like he's got the inside line. Cyrus Nicky moves up into P5, so great move from Salamander, and moving up 2 positions as well from initially he moved down to P7, but now finds himself in the top 5. So great move as they go through the Schumacher S for the first time. But yeah, is there any action that we're missing out on at the moment, Tati?
For P7 and 8 really going into the final chicane here, I just saw, I think Digital Relay just got ahead of Boku. That might have been a positional change there, but they're pretty bunched up, bumper to bumper, sometimes overlapping fenders.
Right, indeed. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, I mean, it looks like, I mean, is there any slipstream? I mean, it just
Mara
doesn't...
with a penalty.
Yeah, sorry, go on. Yeah.
No, just naming Pelmore got a penalty, so he's out of the train soon.
Ah, okay. Yeah, he's going to have to serve that at some point during this next lap. So as close as it is, that may be a little bit costly in the early part of this race. But they are line astern going down the pit wall straight right now. And yeah.
Moose with a second. 1 second penalty for Moose.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. And I think Nuke was 1.2 seconds behind. That 1 second is going to feel like an eternity for Moose, and it looks like we've missed it. But I would imagine, it must have been through the chicane, I think, though. So, costly for Moose. We'll see if he does lose a position or not, but certainly he's going to lose ground to Weird, who is currently a second in front of him, as it looks like, PhD Lyric bumper to bumper with Salamander battling for that 4th position. But it's a straight. Oh, he picks up a 1.5 second penalty.
Wow.
For cutting track limits. That is a hefty penalty. Oh, no. Oh, and maybe this is something we should be looking out for then, as the cars, the drivers really pushing to the absolute maximum. Lyric has got the inside line to Salamander, but Salamander has the insight, knowing that he will have to serve that penalty in the coming lap. And Salamander fights it around the outside, and that's great defense from Salamander as he holds on to that 4th position then ahead of his teammate. And Salamander doing excellent so far, propelling himself up the grid and looking to catch up with the top 3 TKs.
Yeah, indeed. And we're seeing how much battling slows you down. That's how Salamander got ahead of Cyrus, Nicky, and Lyric, was the 2 of them going wheel to wheel through a turn. And so Salamander was able to get a good exit. I'm really curious to see how much this penalty affects them, because in the slower cars, the penalty isn't as harsh because they're all going slow. But the penalty line here is on this long straight. So it's might be a little more brutal, as it looks like Lyric is falling back and now has Caper right behind them.
Moose did just lose P2 to Nuke in the straight, but to your point, it took Nuke a long time to actually catch him, but he did get him well before the chicane and to take P2 there after Moose served that 1 second penalty.
Yeah, so these harsh, a full second, 1.5 seconds, it definitely is a position if somebody's nearby. Maybe a half a second won't be quite as bad, as they don't get slowed up as much, but that is pretty harsh.
Yeah, indeed, and what that is doing is they're losing that gap to Weird as well. He's got a 3.5 second lead over Nuke now, and he's already looking rather comfortable on lap 3, it has to be said. Weird doesn't really make mistakes, so although the track limits at certain parts of the circuit is quite tight, but we don't expect to see it from Weird, but who knows? We've still got 8 laps remaining, so a long way to go. But PhD Lyric right now currently down into P6, then looking to challenge Cyrus, Nicky for that top 5 position. But Salamander, quite interestingly, has peeled away then. So Salamander going from strength to strength in 4th position, looking to catch the likes of Moose. It does look like Moose and Nuke are very close together, fighting it out for that top 2 position. But Lyric has got the inside line for this hairpin, and surely he'll take that 5th position away from Cyrus Nicky as he bravely holds it around the outside. But Lyric does take that 5th position just about as we come through the Schumacher S. He is going to sweep in front of him and go into P5, but we've got GI Boku and Digital Relay side by side as well. And Boku with that outside line, he's got the nose in front, and I think he's going to take that P9 away from Digital Relay as we come up into this left-hander. But Digital Relay, that's a great line, and great defense from him. Holds on to that P9 for the time being. Boku will be looking to get the best exit out of this corner, and it's going to be certainly very, very tight as we come through the kind of the flat out section approaching the chicane. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of the chicane. I think it's Vidal, but I might be doing a disservice there. But Digital Relay does hold on to 9th position for the time being. Still very, very close. 3 cars just behind them as well, looking very, very close. But Moose is certainly within kind of a hair's breadth of S7R Nuke. 1.3 seconds is the gap between the 2 drivers. But The tyres, though, quite interestingly, it looks like they've all decided to start on the soft tyres, which they're on lap 4 now. They're over halfway. Them tyres are going to start feeling horrible because, of course, being the front engine, front wheel drive car, really rely on that front end grip. And yeah, once we get to this kind of stage, that's where the car likes to understeer, and it's certainly going to be a tough job for the drivers. But Moose doing very well at the moment, very consistent. 1.3 seconds is still the gap to S7R Nuke. 2.2 seconds is the gap between him and Salamander in P4, just behind. So there is a few gaps starting to sort of open up a little bit, and I know like 1.5 seconds is still quite close, but in these types of cars, you know, without that slipstream, and you don't really get too much slipstream either, do you really? Let's be honest, T-Case. But yeah, you know, what are your thoughts so far in this race?
Yeah, so I'm surprised at how much battling we've seen based on how much time is lost when you are battling, because it's not just one corner that it happens. Most of this track, it's a left, right, left, as we're seeing right here. So you're on the inside, then the outside. Both are on compromised lines going side by side, and that's allowed kind of the spread out to happen. But I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Everybody's being pretty consistent, pushing the cars hard. I'm curious who dives in the pits first, if everybody's going to dive in at the same time, those who are on the softs, or if somebody's going to try to maybe push them a lap longer, or maybe even go for an undercut and box early for the mediums.
Yeah, indeed. And yeah, it looks like the sort of second half of the grid looks like they're on the medium tyres. It's definitely going to be hit and miss how many laps they decide to go on each tyre. I did see Salamanders in P4, and they weren't looking too good after 4 laps. So I'll be interested to see if he decides to do one more lap or tries to long it out and be on the rims. But thank you, Tati. Yeah, Caper just comes in on lap 4, then on the medium tyres then. So he's going to go for a longer stint on the soft tyres, it looks like. But how's he looking from your end, Tati?
I was watching that long, excellent battle for not last, which seems to have broken up a little bit, but Luis and Sheldologist rather were definitely going at it. But for the most part, it's been pretty quiet outside of that battle and the ones you guys were already calling.
Right, okay. Yeah, at the moment, you know, not too many mistakes from the drivers. They're keeping it consistent, but as the tyres do fall off, that's where I'm really interested to see like how the drivers kind of cope with the sort of like the new dynamics, really. That really separates the men from the boys, I think. But we are on board with Sheldologist at the moment. Yeah, he has made up a position to Caper because Caper's already made the stop. Yeah, do you know what? That surprised me a little bit from Caper, because he only did 4 laps on the mediums. So that means he's going to need 7 laps on the softs. I mean, that is a tall order, unless the only thing I'm thinking of is unless he is making a 2-stopper. But we know that the pit lane loss is pretty massive around here. So I'd be very, very surprised if he goes with that T-Case.
The only thing I can think of is he's not going to be fighting anybody for a while. So he can just put in, if he can put in good, consistent laps, like this might be genius move. And maybe it was just he was in the middle of the pack and needed to do something different, because sometimes that's what you got to do. But 7 laps seems like too many, but a lot of those laps are going to be done in clean air with really no pressure around them. So if everybody else pits at the same time, we'll see where he comes out, and then if he can just make them last. I'm on the fence on that one.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, go on, Tassie.
No, I'm sorry. I should have waited for you to ask me. But you had the exact same thought that I did. I think with some clean laps, the softs, you know, you won't absolutely kill them, but it might not be worth it if you make a mistake in braking. But my thoughts were exactly he was trying to get out of all that fighting.
Yeah, well, it looks like, Sal and Lyric have come into the pits. Baku also coming in the pits on them medium tyres then, so he'll be swapping over to the softs. It looks like Sal and Lyric will be moving on to the mediums. So yeah, there is definitely a difference in strategy, and it's definitely going to be interesting to see how it plays out as we look on board with Wid now. He's got a 6.2 second lead over S7R Nuke, and you can see with the tyre wear of his Sport Soft tyres, you know, I mean, he's managed them very, very well, to be fair. But certainly at this stage, where, you know, you've got minimal grip left on them front tyres, we'll see now as we're on board with him, like how smooth he is out of the exits of the corners. You can see, look, he upshifts very, very quickly onto into third gear, out of the exit there. You can see he's very, very smooth, and he's really trying not to scrub them tyres too much and get the maximum performance he can out of them tyres. So it's been pretty perfect so far from Wid. The gap has slightly come down between Wid and Nuke, but it's still within a comfortable margin. One thing I will say though, Moose has closed that gap a little bit to Nuke, so Nuke will be coming under a little bit of pressure now. I mean, look, there's barely anything left on them tyres, but it seems like Moose is just managing to eke out a little bit more performance out of them and get a little bit more sort of speed and lap time, but certainly very close still, and still a long way to go. We're just over the halfway mark of this race, and we'll see how they get on the medium tyres, TKs.
Yeah, indeed. I'm imagining, yeah, they have to go in the pits, right? Did Wid stay? Okay, good. Okay, yeah, they're all in the pits. They're going to come out on the medium. I was looking at the track map, and I was like, wait a minute. But, yeah, I'm curious. Sheldo looking good on those mediums. They'll be able to come into the pits for some fresh softs. So we got some people that are really going to be struggling at the end of this race. We're going to have people right next to each other on different tire compounds, but as far as I can tell, they're all going to be worn by the end of this race.
Yeah, and anything you've noticed so far, Tati? Like anything like a little bit different to the norm of all the drivers, you know, just coming into the pits now?
Well, of course, Caper. So I'm actually keeping an eye on Caper. It looks like we have an undercut going on though, but with Salamander, maybe. Yep.
Okay.
I'll let you take over from there, Flawed. We want to see where he comes out.
Yeah, well, look, we've just gone past the pit lane now, so Sal up into P4. Caper is in 5th position right now. So in a very good position right now, but we're going to have a look at his tyres though to see like how that's panning out for him as Sal goes a little bit wide out of the Mercedes arena there. Oh god,
I've been watching him. No penalty for that. I think that's the line he takes. It's very smart. I didn't think you could go out that far, but you can.
Okay, fair play. So the track limit's maybe not as tight as I thought then. I know out of that corner there that we just seen Caper come out of, you can go as wide as possible, really. I know on other racing titles that you have to keep within the white lines, but on Gran Turismo, you can kind of extend it a little bit further as we now look on board with Moose, who has really closed that gap to Nuke within a couple of, well, maybe a car length away now, as the gap is about 3/10 of a second. It looks like Moose has got a brilliant run out of the hairpin there, and looking to I mean, the slipstream doesn't look great, does it? But looking to use that slipstream to pull him along, and well, I thought maybe he was going to draw up alongside Nuke for the next turn, but looks like he's just backed off for the time being. Maybe try and get a better run out of the corner, because he has closed that gap a little bit more as we come around. I think this is turn number 13. So now it will be on the flat out section as we go around the right hand kink up to the chicane. And I like to call it the chicane of doom, because them curves are very, very chunky, do normally unsettle a lot of the cars. And Luke goes wide, and I called it, didn't I? I called it, and he lost traction, and Moose took full advantage up the inside to move up into second position, and away he goes now, looking to try and pull away from Nuke and try to cement that second position, Tati.
Yeah, that was right as you were talking about it. It happened. I think these cars can eat those curbs up a little more than you think because they're softly sprung, but there's still a limit there, right? Oh, good, you've turned to the battle that I was about to bring up. Take it away, Flawed. These two going side by side into turn one.
Yes, indeed. It looks like Cyrus Nicky had the overspeed and he's just made the move on Lyric. He's got that inside line. He'll be looking to clip the inside apex, which he does. But he obviously takes it a little bit narrow, so Lyric gets a better line out of the corner. But Nicky, for the time being, that is a successful overtake and moves up into P6. But certainly Lyric's fight is not done here. He'll be looking to seek revenge and try to close the gap back up to Cyrus Nicky. But I think Cyrus Nicky, though, is he on the soft tyres, though? Because I did notice Lyrics on the mediums. Oh, as we got a battle here for the top 9 position. Was that Boku just getting in front of Digital Relay?
Indeed. They're battling.
I think Digital Relay was in front, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
I want to point out the stark contrast between the last two races. Of last race that we saw, you could be late on the brakes and get the overtake done in one corner. This race is like a chess match. Like Moose's overtake, he set up 3 corners ahead of that chicane.
I'm gonna have to cut you off. Cut you off here, TKs, because Boku went very, very deep through the hairpin, and they nearly went side by side going into the Schumacher S, which is not the ideal thing to do. So Boku will be just in front of Digital Relay, but he is putting all types of pressure to him as he's all over the gearbox of Boku right now. He is going to tuck in just behind his rear bumper, and he's trying to open up the corner to get more speed out of the exit. It does look like he has got more speed. Will he be able to close the gap by the time we get into the chicane? He's going to be very, very close. Boku not defending. It looks like Digital Relay is going to try it up the inside with a bit of a lunge, and it's going to be tight. They were door to door there, but Digital Relay does make it work and move up to P9, Teddy.
That was incredible. Very bold, very brave. Definitely trusted those brakes there, but made it happen and then slammed the door shut when he needed to. That was probably the best pass I've seen so far in the race.
Indeed, and then we've got another opportunity now for almost podium. Then looks like he's going to be duking it out with PhD Lyric as he goes up the inside. Lyric's not going to defend by the looks of it, and it looks like almost podium with the soft tyres. He's got better grip and able to get on the brakes later and move up into 7th position. So Lyric is falling like a stone by the looks of it. We'll see whether or not Digital Relay can catch to the back of Lyric, because he's not too far behind now, actually. And Boku not too far behind in a 10th position as well. So is this strategy from Lyric coming to bite him? Oh, we got a half-second penalty, though, for almost podium then. And just as I was about to say that his race was getting better and better, he's now going to have to serve that half-a-second penalty, and this is certainly going to make the last sort of couple of laps very, very interesting. TKs, I was about to come to you, but it looks like Digital Relay has got to run, and Lyric has just picked up a half-a-second penalty as well. But nevertheless, Digital Relay will take that inside line and will take that position on merit then to move up into P8. But Lyric has now got that half-a-second penalty, and now he's going to be under increasing pressure from GI Boku once he does serve that penalty, TKs.
Indeed, yeah. Digital Relay's looking really good right now. I did notice in chat, Slow-Mo asked the question that I've been thinking as well, is what if Moose and Nuke work together? Don't fight each other, bump draft each other on these straights if there's any chance of them catching Wid, or if it's too late. But that was a question I was asking myself as well, Slow-Mo. So I think that's a good point. But this race is shaping up nice. We've seen a lot of back and forths and long planned overtakes as Digital Relay is going to come up into the chicane. Not quite close enough after Podium serves the penalty, but it's going to get a good exit. We might see something going into the final lap, but they both get penalties. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
I'll give it back to you, Flawed.
It's all kicking off, isn't it? Penalties galore right now. And yeah, Digital Relay, just when you think that he's in the ascendancy, grabs a half a second penalty. That means GI Boku is going to be introduced into the fight because he's the only driver that hasn't picked up that penalty. Lyric has already been overtaken by Boku to move down into 10th position. Boku, unfortunately, has the outside line. He's slightly blocked off here. I have seen moves down the middle of two cars before, but he decides better of it. But yeah, certainly if he can keep to the back of these two drivers, surely he'll be taking 2 positions by the end of this lap, Tati.
Yeah, brilliant stuff there. Getting the penalty at the same time is wild. I do think that Boku stands to inherit the position. No need to fight. I want to point out Caper in P5. I've been watching. Cyrus is closed 2 seconds off for him in the last 2 laps. Caper's in danger of losing P5, but Salamander's right there in 4th, and I think Caper's been catching up to him. So interesting stuff there. Remember, Caper pinned it early for the soft tires, and we wondered how they would last. And now these closing laps, when we're going to find out.
How's his tires looking at the minute?
They're looking poor. They're not looking great compared to the super softs around him. Salamander's on the mediums though, and so like I said, Caper's catching him. Salamander's on worn mediums, so this is very interesting.
All right, okay, yeah, and this is where the tyres do fall off a cliff as well in the final couple of laps, and yeah, Caper is holding on for dear life as Cyrus Nicky is going to be hounding him down. It looks like he's got a good exit as well. He's got much fresher, soft tyres as well, so it's going to be interesting to see in the braking point where they're going to be as they go side by side. I think Caper is going to defend the inside line though, so Cyrus Nicky, I think he may just back off because don't really want to be going too wide through there, but knowing the fact that he's definitely got more speed and really closing that gap, and Caper's gone narrow as well. Cyrus going wide back inside, and I feel like Caper is going to become a bit of a cropper as we come into the final turn, the first turn of the final lap, and is Caper, I don't think Caper's going to defend here. I think he may concede here, but they're going to have to be careful as all. Caper does cut off the nose of Cyrus Nicky there, and fortunate there weren't contact, and Cyrus Nicky maybe anticipating Caper coming across as got on the brakes a little bit sooner, but yeah, we're on the last lap. There is certainly a big battle going on for the 4th position. Salamander just leading the charge at the minute, but Caper and Nicky looking very dangerously just behind him. So will he be able to hold on to that 4th position? Is there any other battles going on whilst we're on this last lap?
P7 almost podium leads in P7, leads the group rather in P7, but he's got a half-second penalty with Digital Relay breathing down his neck, and Boku right there as well. Last lap action. I love it.
The 3 of these drivers that we're looking at of the main, Salamander, Caper, and Cyrus Nicky, all did a different strategy, but they've been together. Before their pit stops, they were battling. Then they all pitted at different times, different tires, and at the last lap, they're all back together battling. I absolutely love it.
Yes, indeed. Well, Tati, if you could keep an eye on the battle for P7, we'll keep an eye on the battle for P4, because Salamander is literally just in front of Caper. Oh, he tried the old switcheroo, but of course it will be the right-hand turn coming up, so it's not going to quite work for him, and Cyrus Nicky is there to pounce if a gap does open up for him, and Cyrus Nicky looks like he's got a really good run out of the hairpin, and now side by side, Salamander just in front as well. Salamander going very, very defensive, and I think he may just... Oh no, Cyrus Nicky around the outside. They're side by side through the chicane. Cyrus Nicky gets through as Wick comes across the line to win the race here at Nürburgring. But let's just keep an eye on this battle here. Cyrus Nicky is just about to hold off. Yes, Salamander. He's going to finish in P4 ahead of first Salamander in P5 and Caper in P6. Moose came across the line in P2 and Nuke in P3. And now we've got almost podium. He's just about going to finish in front of Digital Relay, who finishes in P8, and GI Boku for P9. And 10th for Felmora, ahead of Lyric, who moves down to P11. Louis in P12 and Sheldologist in P13. What a frantic ending to this race. What are your thoughts there, TKs?
Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. I love it. I love it. That was incredible. I was looking at where people started, and with all the change-up we had, almost everybody finished where they started. I thought Cyrus Nicky was going to finish further down and Caper make the huge jump, but right there at the end, Cyrus Nicky pulled it off with a bold move against Salamander. I mean, that was good wheel-to-wheel racing.
Indeed it was. And Tati, your thoughts as well.
That was amazing. What we didn't see on camera was Almost Podium took his penalty, and by all rights, Digital Relay should have had that position, maybe even Boku, but then Almost Podium with a heroic lunge into the final chicane got them both and ended the race in P7. That was brilliant. Wow. I knew this race was going to give.
Yeah, a shame we didn't get to see that, but obviously Cyrus Nicky, as you just mentioned, TKs, it was just an absolute phenomenal move. It was like now or never, and he took it with aplomb. And wow, yeah, it's a shame we don't get to interview him because of course we'll have the top three drivers. Yeah, I'm gutted myself, but maybe if Cyrus Nicky is watching the stream, let us know your thoughts in chat as well, because it'd be nice to get your thoughts for sure. Yeah. We're going to read you the provisional race results with a second win of the season for him, back-to-back wins for him now in Division A. He was the class above the rest, who finished 8.8 seconds ahead of Moose. He also grabbed the fastest lap of the race as well. No surprise there, perhaps, with a 2-minute 20.7. So it will be maximum points for Wid, 26 points going to him, with Moose with another great second position. That is back-to-back P2s for him as well. I'm sure he'll be delighted with that. With S7R Nuke, I'm sure Tati's very happy with teammate finishing on the podium, and we'll get to speak to him in a couple of minutes time too. Cyrus Nicky, as mentioned, P4 for him. What a heroic pass he made at the chicane. One of the best moves I've ever seen, to be honest. It was absolutely fantastic. Great P4 for him ahead of Salamander, who I still think will be happy with that 5th position as well. He battled all the way to the very death, but P5 for him. PHG Caper as well with a very unusual strategy, but it really did pay off for him, and grabs an excellent P6. Almost podium as well. Shame that we didn't really get to see what happened there, but I'm sure he'll be delighted with that 7th position ahead of Digital Relay, who finishes in 8th position. 9th position went to GI Boku ahead of Felmora and a PHG Lyric for P10 and P11. They had a good old ding-dong battle, and that was also great to see. It was kind of penalties heaven as well, let's be honest, between each of the drivers, but a very fascinating race between the trio, with 12th position going to Louise and a Sheldologist in the Fisher-Price car, finishing in 13th position. We're going to get the thoughts of the top 3 drivers very shortly. In fact, who are we coming to first? We are going to come to the 3rd place finisher in S7R Nuke. Congratulations on 3rd position. How are you feeling after that?
I appreciate it. Thank you. It was a interesting strategy race. You know, we kibitzed over how to start on medium, start on sauce, but we figured that the best strategy was to go ahead and, especially with an upfront starting spot, go ahead and jump on the sauce and get out in front. And it just worked out. You know, those guys never really caught up to us. I was surprised. I figured that the medium runners would become rolling up on us, but maybe we have to thank Salamander for holding them off back there. I don't know. I was watching the gap, and it's like, okay, it's not getting any smaller. It's not getting any smaller. But no, it was good race. I enjoy road cars. Appreciate my almost teammate Wid. We do a lot of practice together, so that never hurts.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, obviously, it looked like Wid kind of just pulled away quite early on. So it was looking like it was going to be sort of a fight for that sort of second position between you and Moose. You was in second at one point, but, tell us about your race. Like, did you... How can I put it? Like, was you confident that you was going to get a second and then maybe just the tires kind of fell away at the end?
No, I mean, we started off 1, 2, 3 with Moose in second. I was trailing him by about a second, and he got a 1 second penalty. So that's what allowed me to get around him. Stayed that way until we made the transition to mediums. And then the first run through the chicane on the mediums, I had a pretty bumpy chicane there, and it just, I lost momentum, and you lose momentum in this car and you're dead. So he was able to roll by me. And then I kept it to about a second or so after that. But when it became obvious I just wasn't going to catch him, I just, was watching the gap behind me, and I just said, hey, I'm just going to make sure I play safe and bring home a podium position. So, but, I think Moose was faster than me overall for the race. I just was fortunate enough to get around him because he had a penalty. Otherwise, I don't think I would have got around him early on. So.
Yeah, I confess it might have been a commentator's curse on my behalf there. It often happens, often strikes.
I'm horrible at that chicane anyway. I mean, in practice, as we were practicing, would gap me, half a second every lap in that sector, and I'm just not good at it. And I got better at it, as the week went on, as we practiced. But it's just that was my Achilles heel, was that chicane there.
Well, nevertheless, it was a great performance from you, Nuke, and certainly a very, very exciting between the pair of you, and kept us on the edge of our seats. But Tati, your teammate there, you must be very proud of him.
Yeah, congratulations, boss. Way to go. Third place is fantastic. You ran a great race. My question was kind of along the lines of what you and Flaw just talked about, and I couldn't think of a second one, but I still have it. Between you and Moose, I don't know if you expected it to be a battle at any point. Did you think, hey, maybe I'll catch him on merit, or was it always going to be, okay, he's going to run away and I'm just going to try to hold on to third here?
No, I mean, I was driving as hard as I could drive. I barely made it to the end of the fifth lap on my softs. I had just a sliver left, so I was driving as hard as I could. He just has better pace than this old man does. So I was doing everything I could to stay up with him, but I wasn't going to let him, if I could have got there, I'd have got there. I tried stuffing it in a couple of times and I slid the car, so that's the thing about this car. You can't be too aggressive with it.
Yeah.
You really have to kind of let it roll and get on the power and the gearing at the right times. And so I was trying to get a little bit too aggressive, and then, I'd slide the car a little bit and lose 2-3 tenths. And so I kind of, at that point, once I got to about a second and a half, my mindset shifted to say, okay, I'm going to do everything I can to, stay as close, but protect third.
Got it. Heard. That makes sense to me. I wanted to see the battle. I saw him catching up to you, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to see if Nuke is going to defend here. But then the chicane happened. The NGK chicane is difficult. So
it would have
well
been
done,
fun
though.
if that happened. It would have been fun if that wouldn't have been a slip. I would have rather had a nice little, bumper to bumper battle. But,
oh yeah, a little tiff. You know what I mean? A little aggressive.
It would have been fun. It would have been fun.
Love it. Well, congratulations on third. I appreciate you.
All right, thank you, Teddy.
And lastly, TK, any thoughts and questions?
No questions. You guys pretty much covered it, but congratulations, Nuke. That was a lot of fun. It didn't look to me like you had any issues with that chicane. You looked really good. It just, circumstances happen and people carrying more speed, but you did a great job, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, TK.
Yeah, and just again, congratulations on the third position. Well earned from you. And I guess you can now release that tension and sit back, relax, enjoy a beverage, and look forward to what's coming up for round 3.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, guys. Good points today. That's all that really matters. Make it to the finals, right?
Mm-hmm. There we
Right.
go. Exactly. Consistency is key.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Nuke. Take care, mate.
Take care.
Okay, and then moving on to our middle step of the podium finisher, second for MMR Moose 21. Moose, brilliant result, brilliant performance from you. How are you feeling?
I'm sick, so I feel terrible. But
Oh no.
yeah, I mean, I was hoping to battle with Wid, if I'm being honest with you, but just wasn't in the cards today as usual. But I did the best I could.
I think most people probably feel the same way. To be fair, Moose, but definitely to be fair to you, you know, I can hear it in your voice. You know, you're obviously feeling a bit groggy and feeling pretty ill. So that is a fantastic performance from you. I was actually going to ask you because of course you're on the controller. Like, how did the car feel to you? Was it a little bit more forgiving for you for controller uses?
I th- if I had to compare the two, I would imagine it was a bit easier to control like the body roll with the car on controller than it would have been on wheel. But at the same time, my tire wear was definitely I had to do things differently, take different lines because of the tire wear is worse on controller. So it's kind of
True.
a give and take, honestly. I wouldn't really know because I ain't been on wheeling forever, seems like. But yeah, I mean the body roll was controllable on controller at least.
Yeah, well, no, yeah. Do you know what? I forgot about that. Yeah, definitely a lot heavier on the tires using controller. So, you made it look very easy there, Moose. It was a great performance from you. And obviously we'll probably get on to Wid when we interview him. But yeah, not a lot of people can keep up with him. So, the fact that, you was ill and you managed to hold off Nuke in the end, you should be very happy with that, to be honest. And it's also 2 back-to-back P2s, which, should take you in good stead for round 3, really take that pressure off for you. So congratulations to you, Moose. And TK, any questions for Moose?
Yeah, Moose, great job. P2 fighting through the sickness. Very, very nicely done. And probably a bit of a lack of sleep as well. I'm curious that your mindset, not feeling well, and then you get that big penalty that allows Nuke to get ahead of you. Was it tough to fight back at it, or was it just, head down, keep going?
Yeah, no, actually it was worse more today than normal. I got up around noon and I practiced and I was like a second off my pace. It seemed like the entire the whole hour and a half or whatever I practiced, and so I knew I couldn't make any mistakes. And as soon as I got that 1 second penalty, I don't even know. I was still in the toe of Wid. I was right there at 1 second. And so yeah, I was really frustrated, and honestly, I didn't even want to finish the race after I got that 1 second penalty. But kind of like Nuke said, I was hoping to just have a battle with him because at that point I knew it was just me and Nuke, and Wid was gonna kind of go off and do his thing at that point. But yeah, he made a small mistake in the chicane, and I took it just good enough to pull up alongside, and after that I kind of just try to head down, run my race, and get a P2 to be a little more comfortable come next week.
Awesome, man. Well, you did a great job, and we are all very glad that you did not quit. Great job.
And Tati, last thoughts or questions?
Yeah, absolutely, Moose. Sorry to hear that you're feeling sick. What up, neighbor? My question is about qualifying. We're qualifying. It's the first hot lap, and Wid drops deep into the 220s, like off rip. And then I believe he improved his time later on. What's going through your mind? Like you said, you were practicing. You were a second off of your own pace. If you weren't sick, do you think you would have been right up there with him and after quali?
No, not at all. My fastest qualifying was a two. I'm sorry, like a 220.9 or something was the fastest I had done at all, and I think he dropped a 220.3 or something. So he was 7, 8 tenths faster than I've done in 2 weeks. So no, as soon as I seen him drop that 220, I was just like, man, this guy, he has a game shark or something. I'm not sure what he got going on, but
Game Shark.
yeah, I mean, I can't even figure out what this guy does, but he's incredibly fast.
Well, completely understandable. Sometimes it feels like some folks are just superhuman, but I appreciate you, trying your best to keep up in the beginning of the race. I did notice that you were within slip. You were not too far, but given that slip isn't worth a whole lot here, man, it would have been rough. So I commend you for P2, even feeling the way you're feeling right now.
Yeah, I went back yesterday and watched race one of last season, and I thought, I see, he got wrecked on the last turn of Watkins Glen, and I thought to myself, like, maybe, just maybe, if I dive bomb him T1, he'll have flashbacks. But I decided not to in the end. But other than that, I ain't seen anybody beat him. So yeah, he's really good, and hopefully, next week or maybe in the finals, catch a break.
Yeah, maybe. I think I did mention before the race started that I think the only way to get him is you got to take it in P1, but nobody tried
I thought about it today, but I just couldn't get a good enough run to just stick my nose in there and see if we could, fight it out a little bit for half a lap or something. But it wasn't really worth ruining both of our races for, a turn or two. So.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for talking to us. We appreciate you.
All right, you guys have a good day. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Moose. And fingers crossed it's not Tokyo in the next round because, I was about to say, judging by Friday, they got a Japanese theme going on. So, yeah.
Probably Tokyo and a hurricane or something, though. All right, y'all take care.
Yeah, congratulations, Moose. Take care of yourself and good luck in the next round.
All right, thanks again. Bye.
Cheers, Moose. Bye-bye. And last but not least, we have our race winner who looked absolutely formidable out there. It was just different class, I have to say. Wid, congratulations to you. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. Thanks. To be honest, I didn't really expect it going that way. This is a car that I really don't like. I'm not a big fan of front wheel drive cars. I struggle a lot, but after checking in a few practice lobbies and seeing what people are doing and how they're driving it kind of helped me out a lot. And then to be honest, I really still wasn't that confident going in today. And then practicing middle of the day today, I just found like a half a second. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just take this in, and off we went.
I think that comment there from you, Wid, about not feeling confident and, not being so good on these cars, I think they're all very, very worried. But yeah, just tell us about, obviously, your race. Tell us about the strategy going in. I mean, was there anything that you changed to what you may have done in practice, or, how did it go for you?
I mean, with the rules being the way they were, it was either, start on mediums and finish on softs, or start on softs and finish on mediums. There's not really much play you can do there, but, you can choose which one you start on. And I figured, if I was starting towards the front, I'd probably start on softs, maybe build a gap, and hopefully come out of the pits and not have to deal with much traffic. Whereas if I'm starting on mediums, there's that chance where, I'm losing track position. I might have to fight through some people on softs, which was kind of signified by Cyrus, Nicky, and them trying to fight through those guys. So I think I made the right call. And Moose and Nuke made similar calls, and I think we're all pretty happy with it.
Was it a case of just being as smooth as possible, having to, start on the softs first, because obviously you got the heavy fuel load. So was it just about sort of not kind of wheel spinning in the sort of lower gears and just be as smooth as possible?
This car's funny. When I first started practicing with it, that's how I was trying to drive, was minimize wheel spin and trying to make the tires last. But the pace just wasn't there. It seemed like the best way to drive it was to kind of chuck it in and sort of give it a little wheel spin and keep the revs up,
Okay.
so that as soon as those wheels caught, that you could power out a little faster. And that's what I was noticing when I was watching some people in practice lobbies. Specifically, I think, I was watching Cyrus Nicky a bit, and I noticed that he had a lot of pace, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to try copying what he's doing, and it worked out for me. But in terms of like the fuel load, softs, starting on softs or finishing on them, it really didn't seem to make too much of a difference. Going at the pace I wanted to, I wasn't really going to make 7 laps either way, and 6 laps wasn't too much trouble to do. So it wasn't that big of a decision for me there.
Fair play. Yeah, it obviously did help them because, that was. I couldn't pick a fault really, and I'm certainly running out of superlatives to throw your way with. So,
well, thanks.
So congratulations on the race win, and Tessie, any thoughts, questions?
Like everyone else, speechless and left even more so by you saying I wasn't really comfortable with the car and I did a little bit of practice and so casual. To actually dominate in the way that you did, wow, I really don't know what to ask you, but I do agree with you that car seems to like to be driven hard and just rev it up. There's a bit of turbo lag there. So it's interesting that that's how you drove it and you still managed to keep those tires up under you. Was your plan just, hey, use as much of the track as possible, but still push it, let it have that wheel spin?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, again, I watching people that kind of helped with that. It's just a weird balancing act. You chuck it in without getting the car too sideways, and then get on the power as quick and smoothly as possible so that the car doesn't immediately straighten out with the understeer there. But it's just a weird one. It's a weird car. I promise I really did not feel confident this whole week, and even going into the race, I was still very unsure.
Wow. Which tire did you prefer, soft or medium?
Soft. Oh my God, that medium felt miserable.
Thank you.
Sure.
And lastly, C-Case, any thoughts, questions?
Yeah, Whit, great job. I would like to know what it's like to just find time at tracks. That sounds really nice. But you did a great job. You showed everyone how it was done. It was interesting, and you've gone through it, and as far as how you were handling the car, chucking it in, because on paper it doesn't seem like you should do that. Very, very cool. So I don't have any questions. Just great job. You are incredibly quick, and looking like being the favorite here for the rest of the season. So I'm excited to see what these next combos come to us. Is there any? Oh, I have a question. Is there any combo that you can think of that you would just be bad at? If it turns out that the next combo is one that you just know you're not going to succeed.
4 GTs on Daytona. I'm glad they got that out of the way in the lower divisions.
Awesome. Good to know. Well, great job, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, obviously congratulations. And, I think, to be honest, you'll be very comfortable going into next week's race, regardless of what the combo is. I think, you're looking now, Don, that you will be qualifying for the final in a couple of weeks' time. So, so is there a particular combo that you're like, oh, well, I'm not sure. I mean, you obviously mentioned about the road cars not being sort of the best for you. Is there a particular sort of weakness you have in a particular circuit out there?
No, I mean, to be honest, I do like road cars in general. I just don't like front wheel drive cars. So
okay.
Like this combo, like today, was probably my worst in my mind. I'm sure there are other combos that where a lot of people are probably better than what happened today. So it's not like, smooth sailing for me from here on out. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. But I was at my lowest point in terms of confidence was today.
Well, yeah, I don't know how chat's going to respond to that, but but honestly, from our perspective, it was a brilliant performance. You set your stall out early, and you sort of raced away with the race victory. So congratulations to you, Weird. Go and relax, and obviously stick around to see what's coming up for next for round 3.
Thanks a lot. Will do. See you guys.
Thank you very much, Weird. Take care. Okay, so that rounds up the thoughts of the top 3 drivers from Saturday Division A. So we are going to go for a final break. When we come back, we will confirm the Division A standings, as well as a sneak preview for round 3 of both Saturday Division A and B. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you are all fully refreshed and ready to find out the standings and round 3 of the Saturday heats coming up next week. But before we do, a quick shout out to Henke's Tavern. Oh, okay. Sorry, I do apologize. We will come to the sponsors. Let's find out the results and how that. Oh, sorry. Right. Hopefully you're refreshed and ready to find out the standings in the round 3 of the Saturday heats. But it's firstly important to shout out Henke's Tavern, established in 1955 in the Old Town Florissant, the finest cuisine and bar in St. Louis. Thank you so much for all your support. They are our official sponsor throughout season 5, because if you ain't first, we're open to 1 a.m. And also as well, big shout out to Little J CPA, because they will allow you to steer clear of your tax troubles with Little J CPA. Also our second of the official sponsors for the NRL season 5. So let's take a look and see how the race results have affected the standings for Division A after 2 rounds. Tati, if you can kindly read for us, please.
Absolutely. So after this race, we've got Wid still in first place with 51 points. MMR Moose is trailing in second with 36 points. Nuke in third with 25 after this podium. Cyrus Nicky just behind him with 24 points in fourth. In fifth place, we have PHG Lyric sitting pretty at 16 points. Then almost podium in sixth with 14 points. PHG Caper gets seventh place with 12 points. And Digital Relay is in eighth with 10 points. PHG Salamander actually is also tied with him for 10 points. We then have a two-way tie for 10th with Sheldologist and Boku, both with 2 points apiece. And another two-way tie for 12th with Luis and Felmora with 1 point apiece. Bandit still has no points. He did not start in this race.
Thank you, Tati. And I guess it's time to look at what's coming up for round 3 in Division B. Woo! I'm so looking forward to this one.
Go.
So this is for Division B, and it looks like we're at Dragon Trail Gardens. It's going to be a 23-lap race with a 10-minute qualifier, and they're going to be using the RCF Lexus GT500 2016 car. It is going to be with a grid start with full start check enabled, balance of power turned on, brake balance is allowed, mechanical damage is of course set to heavy, with a tyre wear rate at ×4 and a fuel consumption rate at ×3. Racing softs and racing medium tyres available with the wet tyres, because it does often rain around Dragon Trail Gardens and no tyres are required. TK, what are your thoughts?
This is going to be tough. 23 laps around here in these high downforce cars with the curbs as big as they are. We're going to see a lot of cars get unsettled. This is a track that you do have to abuse the curbs if you want to be fast. Yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Start practicing now.
And so, have you ever tried this combo before? Is this new to you?
Kinds of cars around here, and that is exactly the concern. Is the curbs are big and they are usable. In fact, they have to be used to be fast, but I mean, I guess that doesn't matter if everyone's in the same car and it can't take the curbs. I think it's going to be interesting to see who gets the lap times in, the seat time in rather, to figure out what curbs they can touch, how much of them they can take. I think they're going to be the ones with an advantage.
Yes, indeed. And often the Lexus probably not the best Group 2 car. I mean, it is still high downforce, very it really does glue to the track. But then, of course, if rain does come into play, then that could turn the race on its head. But certainly looking forward to that one. But it's also important to see what's coming up for round 3 in the Saturday heats for Division A. So let's take a look. Oh my God.
Oh gosh.
And we are at the 24-hour Le Mans for this Division A round 3 in the GR10 Hybrid 2021 Group 1 car. It's going to be 9 laps around Le Mans with a 15-minute qualifying time, and it is going to be a grid start with the full start check enabled. Balance of power is turned on. Brake balance is allowed with mechanical damage set to heavy. Tyre wear set to ×3 and the fuel consumption rate at ×4. For the slicks, it's just the soft tyres available. But as you can see, the rain is pouring down. So I suspect that they'll be using the intermediates and the wets quite a fair bit. But Tati, what are your thoughts?
Man, I mean, this is a classic. This is going to be an incredible test for the Division A drivers. Obviously, they've all shown that they can do it. You know, we see a lot of close racing with them, but Le Mans is huge, and you have to stay on top of it. If you're not in the slipstream, you're nowhere, quite frankly. So I'm very excited to see how this one works out.
Indeed. And TK, so what are your thoughts of this combo?
You know, I know a lot of people who are probably really excited about this. I'm not one of them. As far as racing, I'm super pumped to commentate on it. It's going to be a treat to be commentating on. I know we're supposed to practice these. I don't know that I want to, but I'll make a point to hop into a practice lobby and at least do a lap around here. But yeah, this is a lot. I'm excited to watch this. I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah, and it does look a little bit scary. I mean, if that is the time of day at night, or maybe it might transfer into the day, I don't know. But certainly, it's not a heavily track lit circuit, is it? Apart from obviously where the pit lane is. So. Yeah, this is going to be really, really tricky. A huge challenge on the hands of the drivers. But bring it on, because I can't wait. But yeah, good luck to all the drivers out there. But we are back on Friday, the 18th of April at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, hosted by the mercurial talents of Toon, Slow-Mo, and Leo for Friday's round 3 of the NRL. And then the following day, of course, myself, Claude, T-Case, and Tati will be running through round 3 of the Saturday races on Saturday, the 18th of April at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss any of the racing action. And if you haven't already done so, kindly smash that like button before you leave the broadcast to help support the channel and push that YouTube algorithm further. It would be hugely appreciated. Right, okay, so C-Case, final thoughts on everything you've seen today, and what driver most impressed you, and in particular, who is your driver of the day? And before I ask you that as well, I asked the chat as well who your driver of the day is, and it'll be interesting to see what that will be. But C-Case, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we saw 2 incredible races today, 2 completely different races as well. Like, they couldn't have been more opposite, but they both were so exciting, so fun to watch. Tight battles. I absolutely loved it. I would say Lead Pencil's determination after that turn 1 incident that dropped him all the way back to the back. His determination to fight hard, tooth and nail, elbows out, and get back up into P3 was the most impressive thing we saw today.
Yeah, you make a strong case there, that is for sure. And Tati, what are your thoughts on driver of the day?
Definitely Cyrus Nicky with the lunge. We'll just call it that in title case. The lunge for 4th there. That was amazing. And I can't say more of anything else about it.
Yeah,
Can't say enough about it. That wasn't. I know how to speak.
Words.
No, I mean, to be honest, I think a lot of us were speechless when he made that late lunge and through the chicane. I don't think I've ever seen 2 wide going through a chicane, so that is a really good point, actually. But my driver of the day, I think I'm going to have to give it to RTS Bandit, because I do believe that's the first time we've interviewed him, and he won the race as well at a canter as well. He managed to keep away from all the carnage that sort of happened behind him, and he held his nerve, and it was a well-deserved victory. So RTS Bandit for me. But how is what are the chat saying is Shaggy Doo said Lead and Cyrus, and then he says I'll take that back and maybe Moose. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, there have been phenomenal performances throughout Division B, throughout Division A today. I mean, any number of drivers you could pick out there. So I'm sure this is a debate that's going to be roaring on for days to come. That is for sure. But yeah, it's been an absolute phenomenal day today, and I've really enjoyed myself. Hopefully, T-Case and Tati, hopefully you've really enjoyed yourself too. And yeah, indeed. So yeah, definitely catch us next week. But of course, go check out obviously the Friday broadcast next week with Toon, Slow-Mo, and Leo coming up first. And yeah, so I think this is where we need to close the broadcast. So So yeah, it's been a fantastic, rip-roaring affair in the Saturday races, but it's going to be a goodbye from T-Case.
Later, y'all.
And a goodbye from Tati.
See you next time.
And a goodbye from me. Stay safe. Thank you for watching, and see you next week. Bye-bye for now.